watching Swiss Watch International's World of Watches. It is the best 3 hours in television, particularly watch television, and we are so very glad that you are with us. We are going to have such a good time today, and if you know anyone that loves watches, is a collector, then do not let them get away right now. Give them a call, let them know that we're on the air, and we've got some incredible values for you. In fact, everything on the program today is going to be on 5 stress-free payments, and they're interest-free as well. You're going to love that. You're going to see some new selections from Ritmo Mundo. You're going to see new selections from Ben & Sons. And we actually, very rarely do we get to do this, but we have a collection of watches that are pre-owned that we almost never put on the show. But when the values are this good, we have to show you. And we'll always make sure you know which ones are pre-owned, because 99% of everything that's on here is always going to be brand new. But these values are so incredible, we want to share them with you. And we have something very, very special in the next few minutes.
That's right. We're going to do something that we have not done in a while. We're actually going to invite a very special guest to join us for a few minutes to open the show, because he has brought with him some brand new world debuts. Now, as Wiley said, every single item is going to be on 5 interest-free, stress-free payments. If you're not familiar with how that works, think of it as the exact opposite as a layaway plan. We're actually going to ship you your purchase after you make your first of 5 interest-free payments. And then you'll follow suit with 1 payment a month for the next 4 months. And those will automatically be charged to your credit card. And we'll remind you of that throughout the next 3 hours. The entire lineup for today and tomorrow's show is available right now at WorldofWatches.tv, so you're welcome to follow along and shop in the future, as we like to say. Now, that very special thing we are about to do, we are going to introduce it with a very, very cool documentary that our production team has been working on. And it looks a little something like this.
I think one of the biggest challenges that we had in our design studio in the company is how to take this huge brand, Lucien Piccard, from 1923, with the heritage, with the master watchmaking, with all the name recognition and celebrities around the world that wearing that, kings and queens, how to take this line and bring it to the 21st century. So how are we doing that? I mean, how can you take this heritage, how can you take this classic, beautiful watches, and you bring them not only design-wise, but also to make them affordable enough for people to really buy them, because usually those kind of watches are extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. So this is the challenge, because, you know, we as designers, we like to create beautiful things. We look at details, we look at movements. So when we see what's available also for us to use in the market, we usually, you know, we go for the best.
And joining me now is the man himself, Mr. Niso Barocca. So, what did you think about that little documentary that we did?
It's an amazing documentary, because I was, first of all, very excited, especially with Lucien Piccard, even though I'm in charge on 7 different brands.
That's right. Well, tell everybody. So you're the Senior Vice President and also the Creative Director for Swiss Watch International.
That's right.
People also know the name Eleni Barocas because, of course, that was your baby, your brand.
That's right.
Your daughter as well, of course.
My daughter, with the one that apparently I thought that I'm going to have the most passion for, but things change. And from the day I joined the company, suddenly I have not only
all
one
these
child,
other children.
I have these 7 kids, and I love them all. But somehow with Lucien Piccard, it was always some heavy weight of responsibility on my shoulders.
It seems like a good fit for you, though, because you've really come in and kind of taken Lucien Piccard, a brand that many people know, been around for over 90 years, and you're kind of keeping that classic heritage with these new collections, but you're also giving it kind of that Niso twist, which is a bit more high fashion.
You know, I think, like I say in the introductory movie, you know, fashion change. We don't, you know, fix our hair or wear the same things we wear in 1920s or 1930s and 1940s.
That's true.
So the watches are also the same. So what we can do as designers is always look at the back, but look at the future also. Combine materials, combines trends that are going on in the market. For example, if I can say one of them is the size of the watches.
Of course.
So if one time, in some point in time, the size of the watches. A big watch considered to be, even in men for 38 or 40, it was considered to be a large watch.
Which is so funny
Today,
to think. That's a lady's watch
That's a
now.
lady's watch already. So what we did with Lucien Picard is really take the heritage, take the watchmaking, the history of the watchmaking, take the colors combination, the shape of the cases, and just give them the twist and the spices that I know how to create, and put it together and create watches that also will be affordable for people.
And that's what we've got right here. I know we need to jump right into these. You actually picked some watches that we're going to debut on the show today. Wiley and I are going to give you all of the technical details first. But Niso actually picked these brand new, never before seen, hit our website and everything. You guys at home are going to be the first people to get to buy these. And these are kind of your favorites, and they're all very different, but as you said, kind of have that heritage to them.
First of all, I think for years we didn't saw a new automatics and skeleton mechanical watches in Lucien Picard. And this brand definitely deserve to be in that category.
Like, what do you got? I see some few things over there. You're talking about, look at that one. So that's an automatic.
That's an automatic multifunction. Oh, let me just...
There we go.
Oh, okay. That's an automatic multifunction watch that all these parts that you see here, all the elements in the watch, everything is handcrafted and handmade piece by piece.
So when you're talking about that, and everybody can see there, I'm just going to turn that for you right there.
Okay.
When people can see all of that and inside the movement too, just like that. So you're saying that all of that decoration is actually done by hand.
Because there is no other way to do that. There is no machine that can put all these elements together. Sometimes in these movements, you have hundreds and hundreds of moving parts. You have wheels connected to wheels. You have springs connected to wheels, and so many elements that they have to be synchronized, working together. And by the way, the tolerance of time in our watches, and I always insist on that, is that we won't have tolerance of more than 40.40 seconds a month.
Wow.
Even in these automatic skeleton watches. And look at the case size. We inspired by the big watchmakers of the world.
Of course.
Like the Breguet of the world. And we're creating watches that they are, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused with the angles of the camera.
Don't worry about it, you're doing great.
But I think you guys can see we invest a lot in the dial, for example. The dials by me, you will never see printed, only if it's necessary because it's too small.
Okay.
But most of the indexes and the numbers are all applied one by one on the indexes.
Wow.
So on the dials. And all these elements that you see here, all the engraving that you see on the movement, everything is done by hand. There is a guy that's sitting and with a special tool and engraving the flowers on the movement.
Can you imagine? Think about that, because we talk about that when we present Swiss-made watches or really high-end watches on the show. You know, Wiley and I will talk about how things like that are done by hand. And so it makes sense that a watch, you might pay $8,000 for a watch, right? Because somebody has actually sat there. But with our watches, as you're saying, somebody's doing that exact same job, but we're giving out the same quality for $200?
I am, you know...
How are you doing this?
Sometimes, like I say also, I think in the movie, the biggest challenge that I have, first of all with myself, is that I really like beautiful things. And usually these beautiful things, are expensive.
Of course.
And you know, because I have this, from childhood, I always had this fine...
I mean, look at the way
I was
dressed,
looking all the time
gentlemen.
into fashion. I was living in Europe many years, you know, for more than 15 years growing up in Europe and in dealing with fashion from childhood. From childhood, I was, you know, in fashion with my father, and the color combination and the aesthetic of things were very important to me. So when I came to do the watches, I say, I want to make the best I can, the most beautiful and good quality of watches, obviously in line with the brand and with my vision, and to make it affordable. And that's usually the most challenging part, because everything that you want to do is that increase the price by a lot. But here, our power as a company, our knowledge, I'm 30 years in this business doing watches, manage and give me the privilege to work on this amazing line and create this incredible watches that truthfully, when you look first of all and you say, is this only $120 or $130? You think because of the price that the quality is low.
Of course.
But I am here as an expert in watches, and I'm promising you that every element in this watch done in perfection, like the same way the big brands and the brands with the thousands of dollars of watches creating them. We use the platings, the assembly of the watches. Every element in the watch, it's done by the companies, if it's a dial factories, if it's a movement factories or case factories, by the AAA top of the line places, the big brands producing their own items there. But because we are marketing straight to the public, we can afford to give this in these prices. And our vision is for a lot of people enjoy our watches and be surprised each time with a new style that I'm bringing to the table.
So essentially, you at home are buying from the manufacturers and the distributors, so you're getting our direct factory cost, is what you're saying. So
Absolutely.
Imagine being able to go to that high-end watch manufacturer just right to the factory. That's what we're bringing you here. And I think, as you were talking about, I know we have to wrap it up. Even, for example, something very quick on a watch that Wiley and I will present.
I love this watch.
You were talking about the case actually being made in Breguet.
What I meant is that these cases and the other cases in Lucien Piccard that coming from L'Homme many years ago, they are all inspired, like in fashion, there is inspiration. Of
course.
So those cases are inspired by the Breguet look of the world,
Beautiful.
or the other, the Piagets of the world, that they are creating in the 1920s and 1930s certain case styles that we look at the history books, and we say, how can we take these talents of Lucien Piccard from the past and the cases that he created and bring it back here today to the table and make it in the price that everybody can afford. And
you think we've done that at least today?
And I think we're going to see many styles coming in. Many amazing looks that the Lucien Piccard followers will be very surprised. But the best thing is to hold the watches. When you hold the watch in your hand and you see the quality and the deployment buckle that I decided to add in some of the collections.
That's right. You've had a lot of new things. Yes. New movements today we're going to show you, new closures.
That's right. Multi-layer dials that you see, that every dial like this take 10 times the work and 10 times the amount of money. But some things I just don't give up. When I want something and I believe that it's going to add to the value of the watch, I'm going all the way. And I'm going to make sure that these watches will be affordable price and will continue the heritage of, I think we spoke about it, the heritage of Lucien Piccard. Every day, I have people sending emails to our calls, calling to our call center or sending email to info@lucienpiccard.com. And with questions about watches that they inherited from their father or grandfathers from 1930s, 1940s, 1950s. And they want to know that it's important for them. So they want to know what's the value. They want to know how they can fix it, because sometimes after 40, 50 years, it's understandable,
of course.
Especially in automatic watches, that you need some service. So I say to myself, this is a big responsibility. Yeah. To make watches today that in 50 years somebody will call the call center and say,
hey, I got this
watch, that this guy did, and I want to know how to fix it. I want to be in line.
So other people can actually email, if you want to, email info@lucienpiccard.com, right?
That's right.
And you're going to be out here again tomorrow with another special debut. So we don't want to give anything away right now. I know we took a couple of minutes of your time today. Wiley and I are going to present all of these watches. They're going to be on 5 payments, and then you are coming back tomorrow.
I'm coming back tomorrow also, just for a few minutes. Thank you very much for Wiley giving me his valuable space. But every watch of Lucien Piccard or any other watches from the company as you're going to see today, I think the new ones, it's done by me with my signature on, with the vision and my passion that I bring to the company when I started here a year ago.
That's so cool. We're going to jump into a preview actually for what's coming up in our first hour, and you'll actually see some other of our brands, not Lucien Piccard, but some of our other company-owned brands that have the NISO stamp on them as well. So let's take a look at some of those. All right, first thing up in the preview, you guys know Ben & Sons, one of my favorite brands. This is the all-new Voyager. Ladies and gentlemen, I love Ben & Sons. I love the vintage military aviation-inspired designs that you get. And here in the oversized Voyager, you get that look in a chronograph with a black and brown color combo. Yes, that's right. It's a brand new watch, again done under the helm of NISO here. $100. Even better, again, everything's on 5 stress-free payments. Put $20 down. 287-664. Coming up right after that is an old favorite from Bulova. Now this, the Champlain, it's going to wear closer to a 50 millimeter on the wrist. So gentlemen, you got to get ready for it. But it is a showstopper. Not only does it boast the world's most accurate movement, that's right, Bulova's Precisionist movement is the world's most accurate movement. You've also got a 300-meter diver with a genuine carbon fiber dial and what I think to be one of the best-looking bracelets Bulova has ever created. 89235. Again, it's going to wear on the wrist close to a 50 millimeter, and it's over 200 grams of stainless steel. But this is one of those watches that when you have it on the wrist, you feel that presentation. Again, 5 payments, this time $66 will set you back. And last one up of the preview from Ingersoll. This is the Bison number 42. What's great about Ingersoll is we're always able to bring out their limited edition collections. So for a price of $200, you actually get something that very few people on the planet also own. Here, you've got an automatic with a multi-function, and as you can see in the graphics, they were calling it a blue mineral crystal. What Ingersoll does is they actually tint their crystals to reflect the same color as they're using inside the dial. In this case, you got that black and blue color combo. It's really, really cool. Wait until we show you this live. 5 payments of $40 for a limited edition in an automatic. 281809. Now, as Wiley is getting situated, I am going to show you first my hot pick of the show. Every show, Wiley and I pick one watch that we say is our favorite of the show that we want you to pay a little bit of closer attention to. 286502. Well, because I can be a little bit of a fancy pants every now and then, I went with a Swiss-made diamond watch, but I went with a Swiss-made diamond watch that when I checked the stress-free payments, I couldn't believe you could actually get this watch home for under $100. Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at an $1,800 hand-built Swiss-made watch. To piggyback off what NISO just said, this is what you expect in the world as far as retail prices when you get this level of quality. So it's amazing that not only are we able to show you watches like Wiley's hot pick, which will be a Lucien Piccard, but also we're also going to bring you watches like this, which is Swiss-made, and give you that incredible rock-bottom price. I love the size. You're looking at a 39 millimeter case. I think it's really a perfect size, ladies, because it just borders on big, but it's not going to be oversized. It's not going to be heavy on the wrist at all. All monochromatic silver tone for your dial, your bezel, and your case. Now, looking into your dial, you'll see that you've got some things inside that make it a very cool, almost sport luxury style. I'm starting the chronograph, and you can see down here at the 6 o'clock position, you get 1/10 of a second accuracy. So your gorgeous dressy watch also functions with a true Swiss Ronda 5030B quartz chronograph movement. I also like that at the 12 o'clock position, you've got the big date complication. When I start the chronograph, again, I want that hand to move out of the way so you can see at the 12 o'clock position, your date window is actually 2 individual windows. Notice the diamonds now. You've got a variety of diamonds. You've got 8 of them on your dial for a total carat weight of 4 points. So they're just little diamond accents, but hey, wouldn't you rather have them than not? All of this situated on a black croco embossed genuine leather strap that already feels broken in the first time you put it on. This is the kind of watch that I love because when we talk about heirloom quality, we talk about something that is going to be around beyond your years. The kind of watch that you would have and you would love, and then one day as you mature, maybe you would pass it down to your daughter, your granddaughter, somebody close in your life. That's the heirloom quality we're talking about. Listen, I love high fashion, fun watches. I'm wearing one. I love watches that, yeah, are going to suit me maybe for the next 15, 20 years, maybe more. But how many in my collection am I really going to have for the rest of my life and hang on to and pass those down? It's nice to be able to start adding those to your collection, the real staple pieces. Now, if you want to think about them being $1,800, we can't always do that on a whim. But that's why our price with this watch is so amazing, because you're at $480. And even that price, we can work with you on. That's what the stress-free payments are about. We are that jewelry store that you're walking into, that high-end watch store where you're looking underneath the glass at all of the watches and you're saying, I would love to be able to afford a watch like this, but I just don't know how I could. Well, I'm telling you, you can. Because not only are we going to give you a brand new watch, incredibly, incredibly discounted, but we'll give you our stress-free, interest-free payment plan. So this $1,800 watch, automatically, it becomes yours to own when you put $96 down on any major credit card. 286502, my hot pick, the Miros from Maurice Lacroix. Oh, hello. Nice to see you again.
Well, hi there. Do you know that my chair now smells like fine leather?
It does.
It really does.
It's nice and warm, too.
It was so good to have Niso here.
I know.
And can you tell the passion that he has for the product?
I know. That's what I love so much. And you and I, you know, we've talked about it on the show before that we have actually spent time with him in his office and with his team looking at all of the different prototypes. And just as he is on camera right now is exactly how he is off camera.
We had the privilege just a few weeks ago as we went down to his office, kind of surprised him. And of course, he just pulled us in. You know, I think they were in the middle of cognac and cigars or something like that. But they immediately took us into the warehouse and the vaults where we could see literally the watches that have just arrived to us. And the passion was truly like a dad who just had, you know, a new child.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun to be able to see the products that we're able to present to you today, because we were so excited to be able to see products like this, which is now my top pick, and that is the Pegasus chronograph. Now, there is a Seiko movement that is within this 45mm case. That is a Sapphitech crystal. It is as scratch resistant as sapphire. And as Niso was saying, the dial on this watch is 4 layers thick. It's a 4-layer dial, something you would never find on a watch that's right at a $120 price point. Now, the $495 price point that you're seeing on there for the reference price, the list price, that's what you're getting. This watch has a weight to it, a style to it, the quality to it, that anywhere else on the planet, it's going to go for between that $400 and $500 price. Now, the watch even has 30 meters of water resistance, and no, it's not some sort of inferior metal. This is 316L stainless steel, and look at the back.
Look how they plated the case back.
Okay, once again, I have to stress to you, when you think about watches of old, there was always just enough of that detail, whether it's the coin edge on the case, the engraving that is on the back, the beautiful padded strap. I mean, there is such luxury within this that, honestly, when I asked Niso, I said, okay, what are we selling this for? I mean, this has to be an expensive watch. And when we came back from our staff saying it's $119, I mean, Niso looked at me. I said, that can't be right.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally
this
went back.
This really did just happen about 5 minutes before we started
those
rolling.
beautiful Italian shoes he was wearing, you know, running down the hall, and it was just, we've got to, are we actually selling it for that? And he came back and he went, yeah, what can you do? We're not going to make rent on the building this month. But really, the thought right now is, with all of our products, let's get them on the wrist of as many people as possible. Because everybody, I mean, some of these companies, Lucien Piccard has been around for forever. But as we take that moniker, as we take that handle and we move forward with it, we want to make sure more people are exposed to Lucien Piccard, Eleni Barocas, Ben & Sons. And what is better advertisement than you wearing the watch, having it on your wrist, and being able to show somebody and them saying, where in the world did you get that? And then able to say, you know, I got it at World of Watches. You know, I got to see the designer on TV, And when he talked about it, it just sold me. And then it's on your wrist, and people think, what did you spend, $500, $600, $700?
No, I just put $24 down.
Isn't that amazing?
I know, it's crazy.
Here is a brand new design that the world has never seen. This is basically a world introduction, and $24 gets it home, and we pay for shipping.
You know, Wiley and I were talking before the show. We were kind of talking about fashion and clothing and whatnot in general, and I sort of made a joke about the fact that, you know, sometimes when we're on the show, like, I'll wear something and it looks beautiful on camera, but maybe it's not so great in real life, let's say.
Like what you're wearing today.
Right, exactly. But the thing is, sometimes we want to have something that looks nice and looks, you know, very trendy or on trend. And if you're not willing to spend a lot of money, sometimes it suffers as far as the quality. But here, it's the exact opposite. Here, you're going to get something that not only looks so good, but the materials themselves are so high-end.
We're going to let you in on a secret. When we have to find wardrobe for the show, we don't always go with what's going to be the highest quality. We have to go with what hopefully looks good on camera. And
then we just don't wear pants because you guys don't have to see anything. By the way, you need to put pants on.
Sorry, I feel comfortable. Friends and family, what we want to share with you is we don't want you to think we're just showing you products that look good on TV. I mean, we realize that, you know, whether it's, you know, something we're wearing for ourselves, like our shirts, they may be just TV clothes. But these watches are the ones that we are so confident we're going to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. We will pay for the shipping for the watch to come to you, and you can put it on your wrist, put it in your possession, and see if it has the weight, the feel, the quality. If not, you send it back. We'll give you every penny. Remember, we are watch designers, we are watch makers, and we want you to be happy. We don't sell everything under the sun. We sell watches. And this beautiful 3-hand configuration with the hour of the minute, continuously operating sweep hand at the 6 o'clock position, and that totaler at the 12 o'clock is a steal at $119. So thank you for all of you who will consider this for your collection. Only $24 gets it home your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. It's the Lucien Piccard Pegasus. And talk about our own brands.
Talking about our own brands and a watch that, as Niso was walking away, he sort of referenced when I was doing this in the preview that he was involved with as well. I love Ben & Sons. Ben & Sons is one of those collections that I just always wish when we have them on the show that we had more collections to offer. And so I was really excited today that we have a brand new collection from Ben & Sons, one of our own brands. This is called the Voyager. Now, something that Wiley and I should mention is whether you're talking about Ben & Sons, Swiss Legend, Lucien Piccard, whatever, one of our own company brands, you always get a 5-year warranty on the movement. So right away, just want to get this out of the way, the Japanese VD53 movement inside this watch, a fully functioning chronograph movement. Look at how when I hit the 2 o'clock pusher, it started at the 6 o'clock subdial. You get a 5-year warranty on that. So right away, inside this 44-millimeter case, look how they even engraved the case side.
That's beautiful.
You know you are getting something that we stand behind and will warranty for 5 years. I'm always a fan of vintage military-inspired watches, especially when men's watches, or ladies, but I always see them with men's watches, do the black and brown color combo together. I'm sure you are much like my boyfriend in the sense of you're very attractive. In the sense
tired, worn out.
Just do whatever I say.
That's
in the sense that sometimes when he's getting ready for work in the morning, this would be a great watch for him because he could wear it with black or brown. It's the kind of watch I know gentlemen sometimes struggle with. Oh, if I wear my brown shoes, do I have a brown watch? Or if I'm wearing black shoes, you know, it's kind of cute sometimes to see that men sort of have those fashion emergencies like women do.
Not quite an emergency, but yes, it's fashion.
I suppose that's
fashion
what separates
confusion
us.
is what it is. But this is one of those watches that if he's going to the office, it dresses up.
Yep.
If he's going hiking, it's rugged enough. If he's going out to just that casual dinner, then this watch looks great.
Now, I am going to put this first one on the wrist. I know it's a men's watch, but you know what? I love Ben & Sons. I love that I, too, can wear it if I want to. And that's sort of the fun thing about it that I want ladies to consider as well. Because these are vintage designs, it's okay to get away with it wearing that men's watch because it looks like I'm wearing a vintage men's watch. And so I kind of think that's just fun to have. But if you're a gentleman with a super slim wrist, I have a 6-inch wrist. Notice how this 44-millimeter wraps around. Now, one thing I want to say is it will wear larger than 44 millimeters. You'll swear it. Notice how the lugs come up around the sides of the case there. You've got these thicker lugs, and the case curves. So while it will fit, it's going to look with a bigger presentation. Do you agree with me on that?
I do. You know, there is a certain type of watch strap that is a full bracelet. I mean, it is as thick as the watch, and the watch usually lays on that.
Yeah.
This slightly mimics that, not by the strap itself, but by the shape of the case. It has a larger presence, not just of the bezel, but of the entire case. But it's incredibly comfortable. Because I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist. I'm wearing another version of this watch, and it is incredibly comfortable.
So the item number for this one is 287664. I think this one, much more casual compared to the next one Wiley's going to show you.
I like the one I'm wearing.
It looks great with your shirt, that's for sure.
Well, thank you. The shirt's not real expensive, and neither is the watch, but I would choose the watch
You
over
look
the
like
shirt.
$1,000,000.
This is the exact same watch. Here's the Voyager chronograph, but notice just a few changes stylistically gives you a completely different look. Now I'm going to grab the watch, the same watch, and just take a look. Now the numbers you're seeing are for the watch on my wrist, but look how this is military vintage, and this is kind of almost nouveau dress watch.
I love that they're doing gunmetal with gold. We have never done that before. Isn't this so cool?
And here's what I love too. I don't have the largest wrist in the world, and this is a generous amount of strap. If you happen to have a very large wrist, this watch is going to fit. But if you have, like I do, a 6 3/4 inch wrist, the watch still is a great fit. Look at that. Look at this right here, how it anatomically sits on the wrist just right. I love the convex crystal that's on here. It just kind of pops up just enough. And exactly what you said, the Croco embossed leather strap has such a dressy look. And as they come in even closer, you're going to see the pops of color. That's perfect.
That's beautiful. You know what's interesting? Your watch is dressier because your strap is Croco embossed. The black and brown has a smooth strap.
That's why this is standing out so much.
Isn't that interesting, though, that I really like we did that? We didn't just change the color variation of the watch. They actually made it almost a different genre, if you will, as far as dressing up or dressing down.
For some of our watch fans, you're going to appreciate the fact that this has a continuously operating sweep hand in the center of the watch. Often when you have a chronograph, you will have the sweep hand locked into the 12 o'clock position and you'll use a small seconds. Here, you have a 3-hand configuration with a continuously operating sweep hand, and your subdials are now the ones that are waiting, such as the small seconds at the 6 o'clock, and that's activated by hitting that pusher. And you'll notice it starts to go into motion right there. For some folks, they just prefer it. And of course, that's going to be your stop and then your reset right there. Now, I really like this watch. Now, between the two, which one would your boyfriend wear? He has kind of a business attire day. Which one do you think?
You know, I was actually thinking that. I was wondering which one I would get him if I were to get him one. I always like to play in my mind about if I was going to get myself or somebody else a watch. I would probably say the black and brown because he's a fan of getting things that he can maybe be a bit more versatile with. But I would see you wearing the one that you've got on your wrist.
You are absolutely correct. I mean, I think this one, to me, this fits my lifestyle very well. Because if I was doing something with just blue jeans and a t-shirt, this suddenly becomes the Ben & Sons Adventure Watch. Let's go have fun. But if I needed to dress up a bit, I mean, there's nothing not dressy about it if you thought about the right attire going with it. Folks, it's hard to believe that either one of these watches is under $100, and only $20 gets it home. So if you don't take our word for it, we hope you trust us. We want you to always shop with confidence. All you have to do is give them that number, 287665. Tell them you want this watch to come home, put $20 on a credit card, and yes, for stress-free payments, it must be a credit card, not a debit card. And then we will, over the next 4 months, get you the other payments. And you're not going to be charged any interest, free shipping, and if you change your mind, you send it back. We pay for it to come back, and we give you every penny. This is a beautiful watch, and it's a safe watch. If you have a watch guy out there that you're looking for a watch for him, this is one I promise they'll love, just like the Bulova Champlain Precisionist.
This is a watch that is a VIP around here on our show. The
Yes,
Champlain is always such a bestseller. And as I mentioned in the preview, the bracelet to this watch, in my opinion, is the big superstar. But as Wiley will explain, it's actually beyond that because you don't just get something that's aesthetically pleasing with the dial and the bracelet. You also get something that is kind of a bragging rights watch when you want to talk about what it has on the inside.
The moment you pick up the watch and there's 159 grams of stainless steel, you realize what have they put in this bulletproof case? What in the world has Bulova done? Bulova has been building watches since 1875, and when you pick up this watch, you immediately feel like, wow, I think all the material they've ever used since 1875 has to be in this watch because there is a weight to it, there is a craftsmanship. You can see it in this knurled and coin edge that's around the bezel. Look at that great curvature in the crystal. There is the weight in that solid link bracelet all the way around, from the end links all the way around. The watch is solid. But inside of it is a quartz movement like no other. Now, if you have an automatic watch or you have a mechanical watch, they're running at somewhere between 3 and 6 kilohertz, which means they're accurate to within 10 to 15 seconds per day. If you have a quartz movement on your wrist right now, it's running at 32 kilohertz, and it's going to be accurate to within 10 to 15 seconds per month. But inside your quartz watch, there is a little tiny tuning fork made of quartz. And because of its piezoelectric quality, if you kind of torque that fork, it's going to put off an electrical charge. But if you put an electrical charge to it, it will begin to vibrate. Well, that vibration is a measurement of time. And that's how a quartz movement works. Inside this watch is a 3-handed, not 2, piece of quartz. It is resonating not at 32 kilohertz, but 262 kilohertz. What does that mean? This watch is 8 times more efficient or accurate than the watch on your wrist. It is accurate to within 10 seconds per year. The only thing more accurate than this is going to be one that has to be tied to an atomic timekeeper, an atomic clock that would pick up a radio signal. This is autonomous. You don't have to be within signal of anything. It's going to keep that time. Notice the fluidity of that sweep hand, the carbon fiber dial in the center, the pearlage decoration in the outer chapter ring, and that open date complication that's going to give you a glimpse into the date wheel. And the watch doesn't just look good in daylight. Look at the lume on this watch. This is one of the watches that we love, and over again, when people find out that we actually sell these, they ask, okay, what can you get these watches for? And Megan and I occasionally can use our employee discount to get it for less than the WOW price or the show price. But more often than not, we find that the show price is less expensive than the employee price. Notice this watch goes back to $449.50 after the weekend. But right now it's at $239.99. The watch designers, the executives here want to get as many of these watches on your wrist as possible because nothing speaks better of our company than your trust and confidence of having our product on your wrist. And this Bulova, a company that certainly has a reputation since 1875, they want you to be happy too. So they've built the very best that they have to offer. Now, there are other styles and configurations of the Champlain and of the Precisionist, so please check out our website, but I happen to like this one a whole lot, and only $66 gets it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. All you got to do is call that number at the bottom of your screen, tell them you want 89235, and the Bulova Champlain Precisionist will go right out in the mail the very next day. So congratulations to all of you for picking it up. You're getting one of our favorite watches. Coming up next, you know, Eterna is also one of those watch brands that now that goes back even farther than Bulova. Eterna is going back to 1856, and when they wanted to build basically that at-a-glance watch, classic timepiece, no distractions, but with the convenience of ease of reading, they came up with the Vaughan Big Date. You're seeing a 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, continuously operating curved sweep hand that's going to mimic the curvature in that cushion-shaped dial, and then the large dual date wheel, large date complication, reverse date wheel, because that date wheel is black with white lettering. It uses 2 wheels, and it's large. You don't have to have a Cyclops over it. The Cyclops lens often will give people a better view of it. No need here. At simply a glance, you can tell the time. Now, why is this watch? Is that a misprint? No, it's not. $7,495. Now, the moment you look at it, you think, well, it's ultra slim. Of course, it's sapphire crystal. You have that surgical grade stainless steel. But here's the magic. Within this watch is one of the most compact, thin automatic movements. You would think this is quartz. But can you see the curvature that's within that dial? Notice the hands, how they, at the very ends, sweep down to meet the curvature, whether it's the sweep hand, the hour, or the minute hand. But then as you flip the watch over and you look into that beautiful all Swiss-made movement. By the way, if this is going to have that moniker of Swiss-made, it means 60%, at least 60% of the value of this watch has to be from Switzerland. The movement has to be Swiss. It has to be placed in this case in Switzerland. Then final inspection has to be in Switzerland. And you're looking into the beating heart of that watch. Absolutely stunning all the way around. 50 meters of water resistance. Let me slip this watch on. You need to see it on my wrist just to realize the beauty, and it is such a classic timepiece. Folks, this is one you don't want to get away from you. Eterna is the originators of the ETA movement, and I guarantee you, if you are a watch collector, you have a watch out there that has an ETA movement in it. But as they become rarer, because ETA no longer distributes to every manufacturer, they have sold the ETA side, Eterna being able to have one of their own proprietary movements, all Swiss made. Where else are you going to get a $7,000 watch for under $1,400, or only $280 gets it home? Maybe there's somebody in your world that you want to get that extra special Christmas gift, that holiday gift as the holidays are quickly approaching. Well, here you're able to offer them a $7,500 watch for only $280 to get it home, or under $1,400. And we're going to pay for shipping. You don't have to hunt for a coupon. It's all right there for you. And this is, again, one of those timepieces you don't have to worry about the style. It is so classic that if you were to go back 100 years and wear this watch, people would find it beautiful, and I believe 100 years in the future, the classic nature of this styling is going to be equally as attractive. 101464 is going to get you the Eterna Vaughn Big Date, and go ahead, check it out. We have other styles of this one as well. We want you to be just as happy with your selection. And if I didn't mention, that is genuine Louisiana alligator. Louisiana alligator strap.
281809. Moving on to the Bison number 42 from Ingersoll. We've been airing Ingersoll watches on our programs for about a month and a half, 2 months now, and we know how much you all love them so much. What's so awesome about Ingersoll watches, especially when you factor in our incredible price, is you're always, one, getting automatics, and two, they're always limited editions, which is kind of a crazy thing if you think about it. The fact that you can get an automatic that very few people on this planet will have the same of, and yet in this case, you're spending $200. I mean, even the list price is $700. It should in some ways be more than that, and yet you never pay it. Now, this is a bigger watch overall. You can see here that it's a thicker case, and that's because you've got an automatic movement inside. This is a grade A Seagull automatic movement. What Ingersoll does is it buys those grade A Seagull automatic movements. Seagull is a Chinese movement manufacturing company. And then they modify these movements in-house for their exact specification. You can see what they've done here is actually given that perlage decoration, not just to the movement, but to the actual rotor itself. And you can see on that rotor, the little bison. This is the Bison number 42. My favorite feature is they also put it on the screw-down crown. So you've got an automatic. You've got, even as it says on the case back, a limited edition piece, all packaged in a 48 millimeter case. Looking into your dial, you're reading the graphics and it says black dial, and you're thinking, okay, well, there's no way. I'm looking at blue here. It is a black dial. The blue you are seeing is the reflection through the tinted crystal. And they've done it even on the exhibition window on the back. So what you're actually looking at is something very, very, almost like an optical illusion. Very cool. Inside that dial, you'll notice you've also got a multi-function. What that means is it's going to fashion and appear like a chronograph, but it's actually going to be a breakdown of your date. Looking at the top pusher, I'm hitting at the 2 o'clock position. It's advancing the calendar day of the week at the 9 o'clock position. When I hit the 4 o'clock pusher, it's advancing the month. And then I would use the crown to set my AM/PM indicator, because that's a reflection of the currently displayed hours. So you've got your date, your day of the week, your month, and the AM/PM indicator. In this case, the 1010 means PM because that little hand is pointing to a 22, and that's a 24-hour chapter ring. What's nice about this watch, and I was a little bit nervous about it when it was handed to me because I want to try it on for you, is that it's on a soft touch rubber strap. So automatically, those of us who have smaller wrists but crave larger case sizes, we're going to be able to fit into this with no problem. Because you don't have to worry about any sort of leather or exotic skin being uncomfortable. In this case, because it's a rubber material, it's really, really easy to just mold to your wrist. And that's why a 48 millimeter like this can lay on a 6-inch wrist like mine perfectly. Now the case is taller to accommodate that automatic movement inside. Just keep that in mind. But there's no weight on the watch strap because it's rubber. So it's all on the case itself. So it's very easy to wear and quite manageable as well. For $200, you're getting a limited edition automatic. Think about that, especially as Wiley was talking about earlier with giving people gifts. Even a $200 price for you, you're giving someone a $700 automatic watch. Break it out into the payments. $40 will get this baby home. 281-809 from Ingersoll. This is the Bison number 42. Now, speaking of very special, we are going to go to another one of the world debuts from Lucien Piccard. Another one that Niso was talking about that is a first time for our company because of the movement caliber we're about to show you. And it looks a little something like this.
This is such a stunning watch. Now, one of the things that stood out is we have a very, very high-end watch that uses a different style hand in the subdial, like the pointer that we're seeing in this one, where it's using a rotating disc as opposed to, say, a standard hand. Absolutely beautiful. Now, when you look at this, does this look like anybody else's watch, or does it have just kind of a unique flavor to it?
I was noticing how big the subdials are.
Yes.
Because this is kind of how Niso was talking about giving something that feels old world, but also has kind of that new fashion-forward trend to it. They do the 2-eye chronograph, so it's super classic. But then, as you pointed out, because they're actually rotating discs, it feels very fresh
Very
and
modern.
almost like new technology.
Well, and I think when you're taking something, because we talked about this with Omega, with their coaxial escapement, we were kind of like, wow, why didn't somebody think of this before?
Yeah.
But, you know, it is that theory, if it's not broke, why do we
Why
fix
fix
that?
it?
Yeah, so let's leave it. So when you see someone actually taking a brand new approach to something as simple as the subdials, it really does change the look of the watch. I love the fact that it has those rotating discs within it instead of the hands. It just looks great. Now, it's a 44 millimeter case. I think the watch looks stunning, and it's one of those that it doesn't look like everybody else's watch. And the fact that it is at this price point of under $100 is incredible. Now, take a peek inside that dial, and you're going to see that Côte de Genève in the center part of the dial, the Geneva waves, those lines running up and down, those vertical lines. That is a classic watchmaker's decoration. You'll see it over and over again, often on the back of the watch. You'll notice in the outer chapter ring where the Arabic numerals are, you have that great silver tone that comes through. But what really stands out is truly the 2-eye configuration with the subdials. Now you have lume on here, of course, on the hand, so you're going to be able to at night to tell the time. But also notice that even though it's not overly large, there's a larger date complication at the 6 o'clock position. That's just a great feature to have. Now, I want you to see this is, I'm stopping our chronograph now and resetting it. And you notice how that snaps into place. Notice how the dials snapped into place. Simply hitting that pusher. One of the things you'll notice, even though this is a quartz movement, it's going to act like a mechanical. Because as you start the sweep hand, when you stop it, usually when you hit the reset, it spins all the way back around in the same direction. Only a mechanical snaps back. This one snaps back like a mechanical, but it's a quartz movement. It just, you're never going to get a mechanical watch of this quality for $99. It's hard to believe you have a quartz watch like this at $99. But it's going to give, that indication when you operate that and it snaps back to everybody else that looks at it, it's going to look like you have a very, very expensive automatic watch. And what you're really having is an incredibly value-priced quartz. Now, I want you to take a peek. Tell me what you think, how this looks on my wrist. Now, this is, again,
A 44
millimeter case. You have a Sapphotec Crystal 316L stainless steel. You have 50 meters of water resistance. And you have all of this styled for under $100. This is a world premiere for this watch. It's not like you're going to see everybody with this on the wrist. You know, as it just begins to make its way to department stores, there are people in jewelry stores asking, where did you get that? Now, to have the first of anything, usually you have to pay a premium price. I can tell you, you're not going to find this on the show in 6 months, below $99. If it is, I'll be amazed. Because I don't know how you'd be able to, for us to be able to afford to do it. $20 gets this watch up. Okay, look at this close-up. Come back in there. Rudy, that was a good shot. Right there. I want them to see all of those applied numerals and how textured that dial is. That is absolutely incredible. And now you get a great glimpse of those two wheels that are replacing the hands. And notice they're labeled between minute and hours. Is that not just beautiful? And there is a weight to this watch. One of the things that I've noticed that they've done within our brands is they have taken what are often cases for automatic watches, which tend to be heavier, and went ahead and used them for the quartz movements. It gives a feel and a weight and a quality like nothing else. In fact, I can't tell you the brand. Maurice Lacroix, who said that? That they were comparing cases and just how well the fit and finish on this Lucien Piccard held up to one of our higher end brands. Folks, don't let it get away from you. Only $20. That's it. Yeah, even the staff is going, that should have been $180, $200 watch or more. I mean, that should be the value price, not $99. But here we go again. It gets our products on your wrist, and that makes us happy. Now, if shop with confidence. Go ahead, take us up on the free shipping, because it's always there. Take us up on the stress-free payments, only $20 gets it home. Try it out. If it's not the right watch, you send it back. We'll give you back every penny. These are brand new, in the box, world premiere 287711, Lucien Piccard. You don't want it to get away. In fact, let me show you another variation that you're going to absolutely love. In fact, when I asked Niso, I said, pick one that really stands out to you. This is the one that he picked, and I almost made it my top pick, but I so love the Pegasus that I had to wear what I've got on. And I want to show you this in person because this watch will not disappoint, not at all. And if you like a skeletonized dial, then this is the watch for you. Go ahead and take a peek. Let me set this up so you can see it live in the studio, and we'll give you some great angles on this. Oh yeah, that looks good. Look at that. Look at that. Megan, can you believe this is under $150? The work of skeletonizing a watch, I wish all of you, and at some point when we do more features of people coming in, so they can take a peek and see the bright talent that actually figures out how to make all this work so it doesn't fall apart. I'm serious, if you take too much away, you lose some of the stress. You put too much stress on the watch, and it can't be done that way. Take a peek right there. Is that not just beautiful? I mean, I think this watch is absolutely stunning. And because it is an automatic, you can either wind it through the crown, or just the motion of the wrist is also, as that begins to move, is incredible. Megan, Rudy, see if you can come a little closer. I'm going to show Megan just how beautiful the inner part of this dial, because we have another watch that I will not mention, Parallel, that has a super close-up. I mean, it was just one of those. I mean, take a look at those subdials in there and see if you see what I'm seeing of just all of that. Because, Megan, I took a picture of another, one of our Parallels, and I want you to just look at the level of detail and see how...
Wow.
I mean, and I can't compare the two. Okay, I realize that.
This was actually one of the watches that Niso brought out when he and I were doing the interview in the beginning of the show.
I mean, this watch is one that we sell, and it is worth every penny. But when you see what's inside of this, you're going to be amazed, absolutely amazed at the level of detail. And yes, absolutely, when you look at the back of this watch and realize that you have both Sapphotec crystal front and back, and the mere motion of your wrist is going to power this watch, and there's the beating heart right there. These watches have not been seen anywhere in the world or on the internet. Only occasionally have we done sneak peeks here when we've gone through the vaults to snag one. I think that you are going to absolutely be stunned when you see this on the wrist and realize the level of detail and what you've got. What you've got.
As Niso was talking about, in case you missed the first couple of minutes of the show, when Niso Barocas was out here, he's the Senior Vice President and Creative Director for all of our company-owned brands. All of that detail work, every single thing you see on this watch that's $150 is done by somebody sitting there with tools, doing it with their own hands. This isn't decoration that a machine does and stamps it and presses it. This is somebody whose actual livelihood is to make these beautiful decorations inside the dial. So you've got this beautiful old world look. Now what I also love is it's a bit modern because it's a multi-function calendar. So much like that Ingersoll watch I presented earlier, it's a breakdown of the calendar date, the day of the week, and an AM/PM indicator.
You can see the spring at the 12 o'clock position.
Isn't that so cool?
You can see whether or not it is tightly wound or loosely wound. That's how much detail is within there. And those watchmakers, known as cabinetiers, whether they are the person that is putting a jewel in the cabochon, or they are crafting the dial, or they are manufacturing that strap, those cabinetiers are adding the level of details that make this run. And it is an artwork just to figure out what you can remove, because as you throw off balance, as you possibly create friction, you change how the watch operates. The fact that our designers can create this and then see it fabricated, put together, and then brought to you for under $150 is amazing. Folks, this is one of those watches that I have to put my stamp of approval on to say you will not be disappointed at all. There's some watches you wonder, would they like this? I have no doubt when you see this and get it home, you're gonna write us a note going, I don't know how you did it. Please consider this for your collection. Only $30 a month. That's your first of 5 stress-free payments. If you've got a watch lover in your world and you want to get them something for the holidays, blow their socks off with the Sultan Automatic Lucien Piccard skeletonized with genuine leather strap for under $150. 287741. Congratulations, you're going to love this world premiere item. Now, right behind that is a gorgeous timepiece, the Pegasus, which I'm wearing a variation of the Pegasus right now.
Remember when we saw these watches like over a month ago? And they were in the prototype phase? How exciting. Because I see an hourglass inside the dial.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's kind of cool that, you know, that symbol of time would actually be on the dial of a watch.
Well, to me, this is so much style. And there is, you know, just hints to old world craftsmanship all the way through. Whether it is that subtle coin edge that you're seeing that's only on the bottom. I mean, they didn't just kind of make it like that slice of Corinthian column, but rather they've just put it in areas that you notice. It's a not-in-your-face watch. But the style and the quality that is within the Pegasus, to me, it just speaks so much. Whether it is the Seiko movement that's on the inside, the 45mm case, the Sapphitech crystal, the 4-layer multi-dial. You have to realize there are 4 different dials there. It has been layered upon layer. You don't find that in a $115 watch. Please note that you'll notice that you're absolutely correct, Megan. It is an homage, whether intentional or by subconscious, to the hourglass with the Côte de Genève, the Geneva waves that are running through it. You can see them right there. 2 completely different styles of subdial. Don't you love the fact that they didn't just, well, we've got 2, let's just stick them in there. You have a completely different style at the 12 o'clock than you do the 6 o'clock. A date complication at the 3 o'clock. Even though the watch is dressy, don't you love the fact that they made it a little bit sportier by adding that chapter ring with the tachymeter? I mean, that's just one of those nods to, yeah, we're a little bit more serious about it, too.
I also like that it makes sense on this watch. You know, sometimes it's just there for decoration,
sure.
but it's actually functional with this watch. For those of you that don't know, a tachometer scale is actually what is used to measure the distance traveled by an object over a 1 mile period. So it's really kind of cool to use.
Absolutely. If you know the distance between 2 points, even if it's a short point, and you're able to use this, it will give you the exact speed of an object, which is a great, if you love automobiles, if you love boat racing, I mean, there's any number of things that can be, a tip of the hat. You're going to love having this watch, which is going to look fantastic, whether you are going to a tail party a tailgate party, and you want to have one of those watches that is just going to look great in blue jeans, or you're going to a black tie event. It's going to be a really stunning watch. Look at that. Now I'm wearing another version of this, and I'll flash it in just a second.
Oh, he's going to flash us.
You've been warned, people.
Now would be a great time to go make a sandwich.
You do not want food near you.
That's true.
I'm just going to let's go. What do you mean that's true? Folks, I think it looks great. Now, realize the other version that you're about to see on my other wrist, just like Basel, is going to be a little upside down to you because I'm wearing it like I would wear it. But notice notice the color variation. Now, the number you're seeing is for the silver tone, but just look at this. See it in the gold case, the darker dial, and then look at which one do you like better, Megan? Take a look at the one. This is the one I chose.
You know I'm crazy about black and rose.
Yep.
But this one kind of allows the different details inside the dial, and notice that they did use some rose for the
right
6
there.
o'clock
That's
sundial.
beautiful. So what's great is for the price of buying both of the watches, you're not even at the halfway point of what the list price is. $23. $23 gets it home. Please notice the stylization of the crown protector. I mean, it just kind of meets up almost like two delicate little calipers, just ever so much, but it doesn't touch. So cool. 287748 is the number. Go ahead and give us a call. Tell them you want the Pegasus. We would love for you to have this watch on your wrist.
Another world debut. This one, I
wow.
wanted to get more time with Nisa when we were talking, but maybe tomorrow we can do that. The Paragon Automatic. Now, this one is a full skeletonized dial. The other one kind of left a little bit there to the imagination. This, it's all out there.
And what Megan is talking about is the other was a...
Is the flashing?
The other watch that had the skeletonized movement was truly just the movement. But this, you'll notice, you can completely see through the watch. There is a larger exhibition window on the back. There is more skeletization in the outer chapter ring that truly allows just more air, if you will, coming through. The beautiful 45mm case is, and again, this is a grade A seagull movement in here. And if you think for a moment, well, it's Chinese, how good can it be? Do you have an iPhone? Do you ever complain about, oh, the inside of my phone is just garbage? No. There is high quality craftsmanship in all of these, whether it is a Chinese movement, a Japanese movement. I assure you, we're not going to, as watchmakers, settle for second best. Now, we realize the price point, if you had dropped a Swiss movement in this watch, would be, this would be $1,000 or more. But look at what you're getting. Look at this style. And you notice that even on the parts that have been left, they've even decorated those.
Notice the custom hands. These hands have never been used on any other Lucien Piccard watch. You can see on the continuous running seconds, the little crescent moon on the edge of it. I also like, and I know we've joked about this before, it's fully skeletonized as you're showing, but notice that they have left, they actually applied it over the movement, that track ring where the hour markers, which are Roman numerals, are. Sometimes, and I can put myself into this group, it can be a little bit difficult to have the exact time when you have a full skeletonized dial because you can't see down precisely to the minute every now and then. God, that's gorgeous.
Look at not just the balance wheel, but the escapement.
Look at the rotor.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And the onion style crown that's on there that just gives you a little bit more pop than you would normally expect for a watch that's under $150.
I like the
edge on the top.
coin edge,
Yep.
yeah.
It's very comfortable. Some coin edges are very rough, and you're afraid if you had certain clothing you could snag it. Not this. And look, the Lucien Piccard logo is so tasteful there at the 12 o'clock position. Folks, go ahead and spend a whole lot somewhere else or take a chance. 30-day money-back guarantee. $30 gets the watch home. And you're under $150. You don't have to pay shipping. And if you don't like it, send it back. I think you're going to be absolutely amazed at the quality, the construction, the craftsmanship, the style, the weight, the feel of the watch.
I'm having a really hard time picking my favorite.
You know,
hard,
the
right?
one with the darker skeletonization was beautiful, but there's something about this gold tone that just, I mean, look at that. As
This
the
looks
light
the most
captures it.
expensive,
Oh,
I
there's
think,
no doubt.
because of the skeletonized dial.
And it would be easy for someone to mistake this for
solid
solid
gold?
18
Yeah.
karat gold. Because you generally get this level of detail in a watch that maybe just gold plate. I say just, it's just gold plated.
Yeah, keep in mind, I know we've joked about this on the shows before. This isn't gold that's painted onto stainless steel like the costume jewelry you might have, or something that you've worn before that maybe would turn your wrist green. This is solid gold over stainless steel. So this is essentially what's touching your skin, what your eyes are seeing is all solid gold.
And the watch has, I mean, look even from a distance. You know, if you imagine being at a party or out to dinner, this
Can
watch,
I see him across the room?
you'd be looking at the watch. But it's one of those that truly, when you realize the watch has such presence on the wrist that it stands out. I mean, it's not a subtle watch. You can't have this much detail, this much filigree work within it, and not draw a little bit of attention. And it's going to be a great conversation piece, too. It also makes a great gift with holidays right around the corner. So let us take care of the shipping. Let's take care of all of it to make it easy for you with those stress-free payments. Only $30 gets it home. If you're looking for a beautiful, highly stylized, world premiere, not many people are going to have it on the wrist yet, watch, they consider this beautiful selection from Lucien Piccard. I feel confident you won't be disappointed. We kind of like it ourselves, too, and we see a lot of watches.
We are going to make our way now into our second of 3 hours together. If you did miss this first hour, we had Niso Barokas on. He's the Senior Vice President and Creative Director here for Swiss Watch International. And he brought out some world debuts with Lucien Piccard. Wiley's wearing the Pegasus. This is another one. We are going to, and I'm making this decision right now, I hope they can do it. We're going to remind everyone of all of the Lucien Piccard watches that we just aired this past hour. I know we're going to have some more coming out throughout the next 2 hours, but in case you did just miss this last hour, I'm saying it on air, so our director has no choice but to do it. We've also got brand new styles from Bulova. We've got Ritmo Mundo, Breitling, our hot picks. I don't know what's going on here. So many things, so we're just going to jump.
If you say Breitling, it'll magically appear. Be
Isn't
careful.
that Breitling.
She's a
Having my
witch,
heels
ladies and
together,
gentlemen.
too.
She's a witch.
I am. Did you talk to my ex-boyfriend?
Daily.
Let's jump into a preview. Here's what's coming up in our second hour together. I don't know where I am.
Oh, we love the Breitling. And this is the Chronomat 44, which, of course, is a 44-millimeter variation of the Chronomat series. Usually it's a 41 that you're seeing here. This is a larger variation, and you're going to absolutely love it. It has the Breitling I think the B23 movement in there, which is a variation of the B01, but this one has the GMT. Of course, that's unirotating bezel on there. This is going to be not only a great aviation watch, but a great dive watch, and one of our favorites with that beautiful bracelet. When you see this $10,000 watch on your wrist, you're going to be amazed that you got it for half its retail price. I'm going to be delighted to show you this in person, and I have a whole lot more information about it in just a few moments. So go ahead and consider this one for your collection. That's the Breitling B04 movement in there, and we want you to get that home. Take a look at this as well. The Bulova Precisionist, again, a slightly smaller case, but still a pretty big watch. But this time you're getting the full functionality of their incredible chronograph. That's accurate not just within 10 seconds per year, but 1/1000th of a second in its timing on the chronograph. This watch, I can tell you right now, in jewelry stores is running between that $600 and $700 mark. The fact that we have it for under $300 blows everybody out of the water. I'm surprised other jewelry stores are not buying these watches from us to sell in their stores, because they can't get it at this price, because this is below dealer cost. 251878 for the Bulova Precisionist. Wait till you see that on the wrist in just a moment. And
something coming up from Ebel. This is the men's variation, but it's in a classic 42-millimeter size, so it is something we can all enjoy. Swiss-made watch, 200-meter professional-grade diver. The X1 chronograph, 284280. It's $1,000. Now, that's a lot more than the list price, which is just $0, according to these graphics. But I'm kidding. The list price of this is actually way over. I think it's like $2,500.
we don't have enough numbers. We ran out.
I'm just being sarcastic. 5 stress-free payments of $200, 284-280. Want to present very quickly my hot pick that I showed you last hour, the 39mm Miros Diamond. I like the Miros collection from Maurice Lacroix. We have quite a few to choose from on our website. This is the one that was available for the show today, so I went with it for my pick. The thing that I'm really so into about these watches is the fact that you get the Maurice Lacroix Luxury. It's a Swiss-made watch, of course, but it's a bit sportier. It's a bigger case, so it feels, in my opinion, more fashion forward, a little bit more current than traditional, really conservative Maurice Lacroix ladies' watches. But also, you always get diamonds. Now, this is a watch that, for me, I see a lady being able to wear every single day. It's got that conservative nature to it because it's on a croco embossed black leather strap, and you've got all this beautiful silver tone. But it's still something that I personally would dress down. It really has a great daily wear to it. Inside the dial, you've got 8 individual diamond hour markers. You have a Swiss-made Ronda quartz chronograph movement, so you get great functionality there. This is a watch that you could wear with your little black dress or to a job interview, but then because it's got the tachymeter scale, which is fully functioning, you could actually use this to time a race. You could use this for anything, even with accuracy down to 1/10 of a second. So this is something that, for me, is kind of that fun sport luxury style, ladies. And I like watches that allow me to do multiple things with them. So this is something that you can dress up or dress down. I also love a good deal. And in my opinion, an $1,800 watch you can get for under $500 and pay off over 5 months. If this was anything else in the world, if we were selling this and it was shoes or a handbag or a jacket, something from a high-end designer, which Maurice Lacroix is, you wouldn't even think twice about it because you'd think, my God, that's one heck of a deal. That's why this is such a great watch. Investing in those pieces. Listen, as we move into fall, obviously trends, new styles will come up with wardrobe, things to wear, shoes and accessories, outfits. But something as timeless as that classic watch, this is something that transcends seasons. You can wear this for the rest of your life. And you're only going to spend $96 today to get it home. You cannot beat that. 286-502, the Maurice Lacroix Miros, my hot pick, an $1,800 watch for $480.
Megan, you know that Maurice Lacroix that I just got, it has nothing to do with that watch. I just wanted to mention that I got a Maurice Lacroix.
Oh my God. Well, we're an hour and 12 minutes into the show, and he's reminding everybody that he bought a Maurice Lacroix watch.
Just dropping
my
that
God,
in
you're
again.
getting much later. Last week we had it at 56 minutes.
Yeah, I had to wait a little bit. I felt bad. No, but it is one of the brands that you and I both have chosen personally.
Yeah, we love them.
That tells you a lot, that we happen to have great watches.
I don't know what it tells you.
We don't know. It tells me I should probably talk about the Lucien Picard in my hand. The Lucien Picard Pegasus chronograph happens to be a beautiful timepiece that we're debuting right now to you. That means there's not going to be a zillion of these out there in the world, and you are going to be very proud to have this gorgeous timepiece on your wrist. There's a Seiko movement inside. It has a 45mm case, Sapphitech crystal, and you know that if we're putting the movement in there, we're giving you a 5-year warranty on that movement. Also, you have that great scratch resistance of Sapphitech. You're also going to appreciate the multi-layer dial. That dial is 4 layers deep. There are 4 different dials that have been applied to give you this texturing that kind of gives you that stair step all the way down to that homage to the hourglass configuration that is basically that 2 sub-dials that you're seeing at the 12 and 6 o'clock position. The watch even has 30 meters of water resistance, just in case you get pushed in the pool. You're not going to worry about losing your great luxury timepiece. And it's, of course, also 316L stainless steel. There is such great design all the way through with this watch. The beautiful croco embossed genuine leather strap is very soft and highly adjustable. And in a very rare thing, with this great gold plating, they've also gold plated the back of the watch as well as the dual pry-apart deployant, which means if you're, I have some watches with leather straps, and if they have buckles, they have a tendency to wear out the leather more quickly. But once you're able to fasten that down and it snaps into place, and then you just simply feed that through there, as you apply that through, the work is being done by the deployant. It takes so much of the stress off of the leather strap, which means this is going to last for many, many more years to come. Even the Lucien Piccard logo right there on the lock. This is one of those watches that is under $120 that should easily be at that $300, $400, even $500 price point. The weight, the feel of the watch, the construction, everything about it just gives you the assurance of quality. And how about this? A 30-day money-back guarantee, so that if you, perchance, get this watch home and you decide it's not the right one for you, well then by all means you send it back. We're going to pay for the shipping for it to come back. We're going to pay for the shipping for it to come to you. And we're going to give you 30 days. Try to see if you can find it for less. Always free shipping, and $24 gets it home. What do you think about this with what I'm wearing?
I love black and rose. I love this watch so much. And my favorite feature being that it is that sort of hourglass on the dial. I like that they did it in silver tone, so it really pops.
Yeah, it's not one of those that it just suddenly blends into the background of like, oh, I think I see it. They've designed it from across the room. You realize that there is style running all the way through each of those layers of the dial. And you also have the functionality, not just of being able to tell the time, the hour, the minute, and that sweep hand, but also 2 sub-dials for the chronograph as well as a date complication at the 3 o'clock. That's a lot going on for $120.
You know what's amazing about this is it's the kind of watch that we're going to tell you, it's almost in that beater price, that knock-around watch price. You know, you wear something that looks good, it's nice, but it's super affordable, especially if you use the payments. But this is something that you'll wear with your finest suit. You will wear as dressed up as you want to be. And it's kind of crazy if you think about it, that something that's going to set you back so little financially will give you so much wearability. I mean, it's kind of crazy, because most of the time, at least I know I'm used to, if I'm going to not spend too much money on what I'm wearing or my accessories, well, I think to myself, well, if I get a couple wears out of it, you know, it won't be the end of the world if it falls apart. This is something that the movement inside, just the movement alone, you get a 5-year warranty on. 5 years for $120. I bought a vacuum one time and had to spend $30 to get a 2-year warranty.
This is
and
incredible.
It really wasn't a great vacuum.
That sucks.
Vacuum
cleaner. It's. I think it's funny listening to the crew over there
that
laughing.
laugh, I know. They just feel sorry for
I
us.
know. 287750 for the Lucien Piccard Pegasus. We feel confident you're going to love this watch. Its world debut is right now, and you can get one home before everybody else. And I promise you, you're going to be the only kid on the block with this beautiful watch. Now, speaking of beautiful watches, how about something from a manufacturer we kind of like? We think that Breitling makes gorgeous watches, and I bet you're going to think so too. And what you're seeing is really one of those pinnacle pieces from them at a price that you're not going to find every day. Take a look at the Chronomat 44. Now, maybe you have seen Breitlings in the past, and they happen to have the Breitling Chronomat 41, which is a slightly smaller variation. Now, I like the 41 because it fits my wrist so well, but you know what? This $10,000 watch just happens to fit just right. I don't know what that is about them. But the Breitling B04 movement, which is the GMT version of the Breitling B01, is in this watch. It's a 47 joule movement with 70 hours of power reserve. Of course, that's all sapphire crystal on the front, as well as 200 meters of water resistance. You know, you could put this watch in an incredibly dark room with a bunch of inexpensive watches or even wannabe watches, and you're going to feel the quality in the dark to realize, yep, that's the Breitling. There is a weight to it, and maybe it is the solid links that are within this bracelet. Look at that high mirror polish. There is just dripping with quality. You're also going to appreciate that you have a screw-down crown and screw-down pushers that are now in the outward position so that they can be activated. In fact, I'm going to slip that off right there. I'm going to show you that simply hitting the pusher at the 2 o'clock is going to start our chronograph. And you know what? I don't have to have fear that this is going to work because there's 70 hours of power reserve. If this watch hasn't been touched for days, it still has power reserve within it. Start, stop, and of course there's the reset. You'll notice in our 3-hand configuration that you have not just the hours, but right there you happen to have the GMT secondary hand. The GMT, or the Greenwich Mean Time, is going to be your secondary time zone. You're also going to have, you know, because it is a Breitling and it is aviation inspired, you have a bi-directional bezel. Still can be used for diving, and it, you know, almost meets that professional dive instrument because it has a bi-directional bezel. You know, it really needs to have the unidirectional for an official dive instrument. But don't hesitate with this one. Because of the rotating bezel and 200 meters of water resistance, you're going to be completely comfortable with it. Of course, this is brand new in the box. This is not gently used. You may see something a little bit later on the show, that, such as that Cartier, that is going to be a pre-owned watch. We'll always let you know if we do pop one of those in there as a surprise. But this is brand new. You're going to get all the packaging. You're going to get all the paperwork. You're going to get all the warranty, but you're not going to get the whole price. Not $10,000. $54.99. I was at a party last night, and when people found out, of course, about the show, they want to know what do your watches cost?
Okay.
Pulling up the website, they're looking at me like, okay, do you steal this stuff? Are you legit? Megan, do we have a little bit of sales power in this country?
Of course we do. We're actually, well, WorldofWatches.com, which we are an extension of, is the 4th largest online website for watches in the world. And I believe we're the largest in North America alone. I mean, we're a company that's been around for many, many years. And so it's just kind of interesting because you think how we're talking earlier about our own brands. You're buying from the manufacturer and the distributor. So, of course, you're getting factory direct pricing. But when you're thinking about us selling a Breitling watch, if you go to the Breitling store, when we talk about dealers' cost always being double, it's because think about those stores. They have to pay their employees. They have to pay for the actual space, the light. I mean, everything that goes into it. That's why retail markup is always double.
And they don't pay for anything here.
No. But the amazing thing is, we here are able to not only purchase things, but we don't even turn it around for that twice the amount of money like other authorized dealers do. In fact, we keep the price just about very close to what we buy them. On the shows, you actually get B2B, business-to-business pricing. So it's incredible. And us as employees here, we get to purchase watches once a month. Our prices and our discounts as employees are sometimes not even as low as the prices are on the shows. We've seen that many times.
Now, this is a 44 millimeter. Just take a look at this. Look at it on camera. Is that too big for me? Or does that have just a nice...
not.
I don't think so
Let me
either.
see.
Oh,
got some
thank
muscles.
you. It's an inflatable shirt. But I think is one of the things that you'll appreciate is sometimes if the watch is designed appropriately, a larger watch, 44, 45, 46, 48 millimeter, we have 52 millimeter watches that the designers create the curvature in there that even on a smaller wrist, like my 6 3/4 inch wrist and even Megan's 6-inch wrist, can look incredible. I don't think this is too large at all, and it has a great presence on the wrist. Look at that price, $54.99. All you have to do, and we are such caution because we can get a little jaded because we do have some very high-end stuff. Only $1,100 gets the watch home. And when you consider that's a $10,000 watch and you're only putting out $1,100, that's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments, you're getting a pinnacle piece that you might have thought, man, I can never afford that. I don't want to run up the interest. No interest.
No interest at all.
No stress, no shipping cost for a genuine, new-in-the-box Breitling Chronomat 44. Love the watch. Congratulations. I feel confident somebody is getting the deal of the day.
Moving on now to something that has an incredible bragging right to it because of what's on the inside. Another Bulova Precisionist, but this one, a new color combo and style that we have not ever aired before. This is the Wilton you love so much on a bracelet.
And instead of using the gold, they're using this kind of, I don't want to say muted silver, and it's not quite gunmetal, but there is a slightly...
like a silvery white almost.
But notice the Arabic numerals. Take a moment before we put that on there and tell me what color would you say those are? Are they just...
They're almost a dark, they're almost a gunmetal.
They are.
They appear to be muted. They're not, it's very cool what they've done. They're not
smoky.
black. Yeah, they are smoky.
Like your eyes. Tell me more about my eyes. There is an opportunity to have one of my favorite watches. I think here at World of Watches.
The watch that Wiley Lowe loves.
Oh, just stop.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'll leave. I will get up and leave here.
Dream.
Folks, we really do love the watches that we have an opportunity to share with you, because if you're not passionate about something, you can't fake it. The Bulova Collection is one of the watches that, because of the movement on the inside, which is the most accurate quartz movement on the planet, within this 46 millimeter case, you're getting a watch that not only has the accuracy of its timekeeping, but also when you go to that chronograph function, it also has the ability to keep track the seconds down to 1/1000th of a second. Now that sweep hand is actually catching up to where it needs to be to run continuously. And if I hit that pusher one more time, it's going to lock itself into the 12 o'clock position, and it's going to wait for me to start that watch. If I got to hit the reset, it's going to wait for me to do that too. The watch is then going to, find its way to start that chronograph, and you'll notice that right here that you have at the 12 o'clock position 2 hands running. One of them for the 10th of a second, one for 1/100th of a second, and then you have a retrograde 1/1000th of a second subdial at the 6 o'clock position. You also have a minute and hour totaler. So our start, our stop, and you notice everything locks into place. You could time the Olympics with this watch.
It's crazy to think, but you actually could, because you get 1/1000th of a second.
And that's incredible. And there is our reset for that to go all the way back, and now it's going to find its way to pick up exactly where it left off. And that is incredible to have that. And I like this because if you saw the Champlain earlier, a much larger case, much heavier watch. Now, even though this has some heft to it and some size to it, beautiful bracelet, but it's not overdone. Notice this doesn't have all the jewel tone, carving.
Yeah, the other
into it.
watch, the Champlain, might just be too flashy for some people. You've always equated this on the leather strap to looking like a doctor's watch.
It looks like very much the professional's watch. I could see a doctor, a lawyer wearing this watch, somebody who is in a business setting that really wants that look, but not aggressively. Now, I think the other one is a great watch. I mean, it has such a masculine feel to it. This equally so, but in a very stylistic way. Now, I think what amazes me, Megan, I don't know if you caught this yet, this is a $700 watch, not at the $299, but under $200 for the chronograph. Now remember, the Champlain that we saw was $299, and it did not have a chronograph.
It was a 3-hand, that's right.
So here is the chronograph movement on the inside. You have all this functionality, all of this quality for under $200. This has to be one of the best priced precisionists I've ever seen on the show, and it's a brand new design. This is incredible. So if you're looking for that, maybe you have that watch lover or watch nerd in your life.
This is a great watch to give them.
This will blow them away at the holidays. Notice even the sweep hand has the sign for infinity that, as it rotates around, also makes the letter P for precisionist. Levels of detail within this watch over and over again. I would encourage you to consider this, because for only $40, you're getting a $700 watch home. If you don't believe me, we'll wait. Megan and I are going to sit right here until you drive down to the local jewelry store, take a peek. We will sit here until they get back and see if this watch is not at that $500, $600, or $700 price. You will not find it for $199. We'll guarantee it. In fact, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and we'll pay for shipping. Go ahead and get a Precisionist home. It'll be the best watch you ever owned.
Now, we're going to do something very, very special. Another thing, we have only ever on this show one time before aired Invicta watches. So right here, right now, for the second time ever, we're going to present to you Invicta.
Did you get permission to do this?
I don't know who decided this, but it's very
Because,
cool.
I'm just saying, everybody's denying that they have, because we are one of the biggest sellers of Invicta in the world.
We are the largest online authorized retailer for Invicta. Largest.
You mean more than some of those other people that...
We are the largest, period, end of story. You can see it on WorldofWatches.com. We have the largest selection. We're the largest authorized retailer.
And we don't
Invicta.
always, because we love Invicta, but we're always cautious. We have to have a measure of caution, because there are other folks that love to also be able to present this product.
Of course.
Now, the one that we're showing you is a limited edition. There's only 7,777, and the watch I'm holding in my hand is number 694. Now, if you think that 7,000, now that is a large run of watches, but when you consider for the entire planet, not so much. It's a 48 millimeter case. Of course, you're going to love the fact that the Swiss Ronda 50-30D movement in there is going to be reliable and accurate. Of course, it is a Swiss movement, so that tells you a lot about the quality. You're going to love everything from the engraving on the side of the watch. Some of my first watches that I started collecting, if you go back to my Timexes and things when I was a kid, were Invictas. And now, there are some wild styles within the Invicta realm, and there are some very classic features. This is going to fall, I think, somewhere in the middle, because it is a big watch. But notice they have wisely placed the curvature at the lugs, and this highly stylized, very custom strap on the watch is at just the right curvature and fit. Notice that if I hold the watch like this, the watch naturally holds the curvature. I mean, it does not just lay flat. In fact, you can't lay it flat because that's not how the human wrist is. It's designed to fall in that natural curvature right there. Of course, there is the Swiss Invicta logo right there. And as you come in even closer on that dial, I want you to just take a peek to look at the detail that's within it.
You know what's incredible? You know what's incredible? I do love gunmetal, but I was going to say, you know what's incredible?
What's that?
Is this $120 watch? Your price, it's a $600 price, uses the same movement caliber as my $1,800 hot pick, the Maurice Lacroix.
Is it really the same one?
Same one.
Okay, that's
kind of crazy, right?
Well,
it's amazing.
It just tells you that them being able to get those movements at just the right time and the way they have streamlined their production, you're able to, and well, of course, go to the mall. It's a $600 watch.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, we don't want to play it down too much. Sometimes when you see the price that we offer it, you think, well, that's the value. No. Something has value based on what somebody's willing to pay for it. The fact that someone's willing to pay $600 for this watch tells you right there, what it's like and its quality.
I know you're going to love the rubber strap because of what you call the bones.
Yes, I do. Because Ingersoll also will integrate a bit of this kind of stylizing in here. But, Megan, you've got to try this on just because of the fit. This is a watch that it is large. We know that. It's a 48 millimeter case, which in the Invicta world is tiny. But for me, this is a big watch. But look at this. Do you see that? I'm just saying that it could fit her.
Oh, yeah. Of course it could.
This is one of those moments where you realize this perfect fit right here. Notice there's just no air. But if you had a larger wrist, there's still just a little bit give right here and a little bit right there. And if you had a smaller wrist like Megan, it's still going to be a great fit. Incredibly comfortable strap. You know that you're going to get that unirotating bezel. I can't rotate it in the other direction, so this is going to be a great watch for diving. And Megan, I want you just to see, I realize this may be a bit big for you, but this will help even some of those guys out there or ladies who want to have this style. I realize.
You know what's funny though is Invicta, I think, is one of the brands that we could credit with modern day people wearing, men and women wearing really big case sizes.
Sure.
And to say what you said, Invicta creates cases that allow 6-inch wrists or 9-inch wrists to wear the same watches. So with my 6-inch wrist, if I want to wear this 48 millimeter case, notice how it fits nearly the exact same as Wiley's. It's the same great curvature for all wrists. Plus, the rubber strap having those stainless steel bolts in there, it's obviously for decoration, but functionality-wise, it allows the strap to curve as well. It's going to be a taller watch. It's going to be a presentation watch because it's got a lot of height to it as well. But for those of you out there that are Invicta lovers, and we know how many are out there, keep in mind, we have the lowest price guarantee. And while we're only going to air a few on the show, on our website, WorldofWatches.com, we have an entire microsite dedicated to Invicta, being that we are the largest authorized retailer. But as we're showing you today, with just these select few Invictas on the show, we're going to get that away really quick. And these select Invictas on the show, we're going to give them to you on 5 stress-free payments. Every single item is on 5 stress-free payments. 229007, this is the Pro Diver, 100 meters of water resistance, and yes, a Swiss-made movement inside.
That was subliminal advertising. Somebody just went, I really want a precisionist. Good job, guys. Speaking of Invicta, how about the iForce multifunction? Now, this is one of those watches that's all blacked out, because you know that black IP plating on there and that the black rubber strap or polyurethane on this one, is just a great look, incredibly comfortable. It's a stainless steel case. It's a Swiss parts movement and 100 meters of water resistance within this watch. And of course, you're going to always be able to see the time at night because of that tritnite, which gives it that great night glow. Let's take a look at this watch on my hand, then we'll take a look at it on the wrist, and you tell me what you think. You know, the Swiss ISA 9238 is a great movement, and it's going to be reliable, it's going to be accurate, and you're going to have the assurance within this 50 millimeter case that the watch is just right for you. Notice there's just a bit of etching on the side for the engraving, for the Invicta logo. And this is one of those stealthy watches. Yes, you can wear it to the office and you can wear it out to dinner because it's one of those watches that whether you're heading off on a cruise and heading to vacation or you're just heading around town to hang out with friends, if you dress up, the watch dresses up because it's all black. If you happen to want to go out and be very, very casual, the watch can look incredibly casual. Now, what do you like best about this watch?
I was just thinking about the fact that you've actually got a dual time with this
right there.
Swiss
See that?
ISA movement, and the fact that at 50 millimeters, it's technically larger than the other watch we just aired, the Pro Diver.
But it doesn't look it.
It doesn't look it at all. I also really like the machining that they've done around that outer bezel ring there. It's two-piece bezel, so you've got this outer bezel ring that's been machined to almost look like rope. And then you've got the screwed down bezel over that. So it keeps things a bit interesting. Rather than it just be an all black watch, they give you that sort of machining and decoration to make sure you can see the multi-piece case design.
Do we have loom on this? Because I'm curious as to whether these little dots right here, I'm going to have to check that out in just a second. I will go to the dark room. This watch really is incredible. I'm going to take a peek. They do glow.
Really?
Yes, take a peek.
That's
Look in there.
Cool. Oh yeah, they did.
Okay, just for, I hope my hands are clean, but I just, onions. But I want you to just, as you take a look at the bezel, to realize those dots on the bezel also have tritnite on them. So there is incredible loom on this watch that you could light up the movie theater. So this is one of those watches that, again, so much value, because just as you were talking about, Megan, you're not only getting that great movement in the watch and all the style within the case and a secondary time zone. So if you have a friend across the country or across the world, you know what time it is with them. It's all for under $85. And look, one of our lowest 5 payments right there, only $17 gets the watch home.
Turn your wrist so we can see the strap. That's really cool too.
Yeah, just a little bit of decoration there. And you notice how much generous strap there is, so that if you were going to take this out in the water, that you have a little extra give right there. And also you may be one of those people that you need more room. I have a smaller wrist. So if you happen to be a beefier person, don't worry, you have got the right size watch. This does not look oversized to me at all.
No, that's because Invicta, with the curving of the cases and the fact that this with the strap coming right up into the case,
custom.
it allows for almost a custom fit and feel. Very exciting. I hope we have more Invictas on the show tomorrow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 276-617. Now we are just a little bit over that halfway point in our time together. So we're going to take a quickie break. We are going to do the top 10. We're going to see what the best-selling watches are of the show so far. And we might even see some in the countdown that we haven't even aired yet.
Do you know what's in there?
I have no
Any guesses?
idea. I hope my hot pick is in there.
Me too.
All right, let's see. Number 10 is... Ooh, I didn't even know this bundle was back. Okay, ladies and
Explain
gentlemen.
what a bundle is.
A bundle of joy and savings is what you are going to get here with item number 287017. You are getting 2 watches in one. You are getting the 52 millimeter Neptune with the Swiss-made automatic movement inside, plus you are getting the 48 millimeter Swiss-made Abisos with the Swiss-made automatic movement inside. Ladies and gentlemen, for $300, that is normally the TV price that we air and sell the Swiss-made Swiss Legend Abisos. Essentially, you are getting the Neptune for free. Now, this color combination is all blacked out with some color on both watches accented on the bezel and in the dial. The Neptune automatic comes packaged in an automatic watch winder. The Avisos comes packaged in a 3-slot, watertight, almost Pelican box as your actual packaging. You get it all. The watch winder, the custom packaging, and both watches, all for $300. Even better, I say, use the stress-free payments. If you can save $2 a day, you're going to get 2 Swiss-made automatic movements, 1 in a Swiss-made watch. 287-017, that's number 10.
Look at this variation of the Lucien Piccard Pegasus.
We haven't even aired this one yet.
That is beautiful. I mean, that is an elegant design. And this really gives a great shot in that beauty shot of even at the crown, how it looks like there's almost little calipers just kind of pointing it, holding it in place. This is a watch that somebody is shopping in the future, which means they've gone to the website. Everything that we're going to be doing over the next couple of days is listed right there. So even though this is today's show, you can see what's on tomorrow's show and get it at tomorrow's price today. $114.99. It will go up to $126. Maybe that's not a big deal to you, just those few dollars off. But the list price, that is a big deal. $500 for this watch. Congratulations for all of you who've picked up this Lucien Piccard Pegasus, just like the one I'm wearing, slightly different color variation.
Coming in at number 8, we mentioned this watch in the preview, but we have not yet had a chance to air the 42mm X1 chronograph from Ebel. Swiss-made luxury watch here, but also functions as a 200-meter professional-grade diver. That is a lot of complications in a watch that you can very easily wear with a suit. It's a $3,000 watch that you're automatically saving $2,000 on and can break that up over 5 months. So if the idea of spending $3,000 on a watch is just not in the cards for you, but a $200 a month watch is, use it towards the stress-free payments. I think the stress-free payments are the best way to shop. And here with number 8, the Ebel X1 chronograph, you see it. A $200 payment gets you a $3,000 watch. 284-280, that's number 8.
Yeah, don't use your money, use ours, because it really does make it so that, we float that so that makes it affordable. I love that. And look at this. This is incredible. Notice this great style element of that, the 2 eyes of that subdial in this 44mm case, and you happen to have those great dial pointers instead of hands. It's just a style element within this watch, hearkening to an old style with a brand new look to it. This 3-hand configuration is going to be easy to tell the time. It's going to give you a lot of class on the wrist. And it even has that date complication at the 6 o'clock where you just go, okay, and you love the rose tone that's in this.
I do.
And for under $100 to get a brand new design from Lucien Piccard with all of this functionality to it and that 5-year warranty, and you only have to put $20 down, there's no reason to even second guess why this is in the top 10.
I also like that the name of the collection is on the dial as well.
That's
All right,
nice.
that's number 7. Number 6, one of the first watches we opened the show with, the 50mm Boulevard Champlain, 89235. This is in the classic 3-hand. Notice the expanded date window at the 3 o'clock position. Your dial is incredible. What a work of art. You have a perlage decorated outer chapter ring, but that's actually framing a mirror polished carbon fiber center chapter of the dial. The bracelet on this watch, in my opinion, is one of the major superstars, but also the Precisionist technology, the world's most accurate movement in a 300-meter diver. It's a lot of watch for just $330. And again, I'm always going to push you towards the payments. Make it easy on yourself. $66 down. We ship it to you for free. $89235.
No one is going to have that for. We only had $30 over dealer cost. Okay, look at this Lucien Piccard, the Sultan Automatic. Now, this skeletonized dial allows you to take a peek not just into the inner workings, but almost everything within that watch. They have removed anything that didn't hold the watch together to give you this crystal clear view, and it's absolutely stunning. Folks, I really want you to consider this watch for your collection. It is one of the best values because it truly is within that $700 to $800 price point, but for under $150. It is gorgeous and you will absolutely love it. $30 gets it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments, and the watch is gorgeous. So congratulations, you have picked up one of the best looking timepieces in this brand new collection. Now, right behind that happens to be, we haven't seen these on the show yet today either.
Yeah, we haven't. This is the 46mm Grandeur Tech from TW Steel, 124019. This has the Citizen Miyota OS20 movement inside. This is the same functionality, well, a similar functionality to the Precisionist in the sense that your 6 o'clock subdial functions for your chrono and for your continuous running seconds. I hope you get a chance to air this live so you can see. This also has kind of an interesting high fashion look for you gentlemen because you've got a color combination of white and rose tone, so it's a bit more high fashion. $30 or $1 a day if you use the payments, and it's a $900 watch. 124019, that is number 4.
Number 3, this has to be in there because it's the steal of the show. Here is a Breitling Chronomat 44, which is the 44mm case, with the Breitling BO4 movement. That's the version of the Breitling BO1 with the GMT, a secondary time zone. Here's a watch that sells for $10,000. It has 200 meters of water resistance, 44mm case. It is a certified chronograph, 47 jewel movement, sapphire crystal, 70 hours of power reserve, and we're doing it at just $499 over what a dealer would pay for this watch. And then we're going to put it on 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. You'll hear us say this over and over again. Go to the bank, tell them you want $5,500 loan. You don't want to pay any interest. You don't want to sign any paperwork, and you're going to get it back to them over the next few months. Not going to happen. But you can call that number at the bottom of the screen. The nice ladies here will be glad to take your credit card, put $1,100 on there, send the watch out tomorrow. You have this pinnacle piece. You're going to look like $1 million. Everybody thinks you spent 10 grand and you've only put $1,100 out of pocket, and then the rest of it is interest-free and hopefully stress-free for you. And you'll have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and we'll pay for the shipping. You got this one because that is a winner all the way around. 282589 will get you that Chronomat.
Number 2, another Abisos Neptune bundle. This one, in the 52mm automatic, is all blacked out with the rose tone bezel insert and hour markers. That features the 21 jewel Val Swiss automatic movement. In your 48mm Swiss-made Abisos, you have the STP 1-11 Swiss-made automatic movement. The Abisos is 1,000 meters of water resistance, and the Neptune is 100. So one is a serious dive instrument in a Swiss-made watch, and the other is your high-fashion sport watch. The total price, including the watch winder that the Neptune comes packaged in, and the customized 3-slot watch box that the Abisos comes in, is all for $300 or $60 down.
That's a $2,000 value.
Oh my God, yeah.
We remember we did the math on that not too long ago because the value that you saw of $1,400 was
that's just
the Abisos. Pegasus.
Nice choice.
You know what? I allowed Niso to make my choice today.
So it's technically Niso's top pick.
Well, we share it. But I want you really just to realize that when the watch designer gets to pick, like, which of your children do you like best? This is that moment where he gets to...
Yeah, Wiley, you're on TV. Which of your children do you like best?
That's funny. Well, Mason's costing me a lot of money right now, so he may not be... He's in college. So you need to buy a couple of watches from us. The Pegasus chronograph is the #1 seller right now because of all of the style, all of this quality. Now, there's a Seiko movement in here within this 45mm case. Of course, that is Sapphitech crystal. It is as hard as sapphire. You have that multi-layer dial. There's 4 layers, 4 dials within there to give you this stair step from that stippling that is on the secondary layer. Go to the first layer. You see that beautiful Côte de Genève on the lighter part, which is going to make up that hourglass shape. You see how it steps up to a seconds chapter ring, all the way to the tachymeter that runs all the way around in the very outer part of the chapter ring. You have these very stylized hands that I've not seen used before. You have the stylization of this. Look at the crown. Let me see if I can get my hand out of the way. And notice how there's almost like calipers that create a protector of it. There's even slight protectors right here at the pushers for our chronograph. And you can see the sweep hand go into motion with our start, our stop, and then watch what happens. Reset at the 4 o'clock position. Absolutely beautiful. All of the gold plating on this watch looks stunning. 100 meters of water resistance within this watch. excuse me, I think that's 30 meters of water resistance, 100 feet. So if you do happen to take this out on vacation, get pushed in the pool, or accidentally head down to the water and you're still wearing your watch because you wouldn't want to get it wet with that leather strap, you know the watch is going to be okay because they've built the case to the quality so that you still have 30 meters of water resistance. Now look how easily that goes on, because you have a dual pry-apart deployant that'll, because I have a small wrist but a large hand. So having this open deployant allows this easily to go on the wrist, and look at that, just the right size. Now I happen to be wearing a kind of a casual button down in blue jeans today. This is going to look great, but if I had my suit on, this is going to look great. I have a black tie dinner coming up, this watch will look great. But if I wanted to wear just a t-shirt with this watch, because there's a little sporty element with that tachymeter style and the chronograph, I'm not going to feel uncomfortable wearing the watch. Folks, please consider this, because so many other folks already have, and it's a world premiere. Not everybody's going to have this watch, and it's one of those heirloom pieces that, just like Nisa was saying, right now what is a new watch to you today, to your heirs, is going to be that classic timepiece from a day gone by, and only $24 gets it home. $119.99 total. We pay for shipping. We give you a 30-day money-back guarantee, and we want you to be happy. So please consider it as we head into this very high-end watch that is also at probably one of the best prices you're going to see. This is one of my favorite versions from Ebel.
What do you like so much about it?
You know, I love the fact that it is in all stainless steel, and it is incredibly comfortable. It's not a hair puller.
No, it's not.
It is just the right size. It's not an oversized case. And notice how it is rounded on the back, Megan, where it's just smooth, and it's a true screw-down back. So it's one of those watches that from the moment you put it on, you realize that you have got something special. Now, the watch is only between 42.5 and 43 millimeters. I want you to take a look at it. And there is just a bit of iridescence. Like when you look at the coin edge, as I flip this around in just a second, sure. I want you to just take a moment to take a peek, because I'm going to move, as soon as they bring it into frame, I want you to just realize as I tilt it a bit, you notice the edge here has a different coloring. It's kind of mimicking some of the other bright points on the watch. The pushers are unique in the watch world because they're just kind of stylized nubs on there that are very smooth, very comfortable. They don't stick out. They're not piston style. There is stylization even on this crown. There is such on the watch, you just go, yeah, I like that a lot. Now, I'm not sure which part of the watch you're going to like best. I happen to know for me, it is just this sense of design that they've put all the way through it. Now, you will notice right there as I reset that, it's coming right here to this position. Many times when you get a new watch, that they will not always lock into the 12 o'clock. By simply adjusting the crown and the pushers, you can set it to wherever you want it to stop at, and I'll move that to the 12 o'clock in just a moment. But you'll notice that the watch is easy to read at a distance. You'll notice that it has all of the quality and craftsmanship that you come to expect from Ebel. And I think this is one of those watches, and look at that, even the decoration on the deployant.
There's something about Ebel watches, and you know, I've aired some, you know, I love the on-day collection. There's something about Ebel watches, and the bracelets are just so incredible to me. I always really appreciate watch bracelets, much like you talk about, oh, a hair puller watch, you know, a man needs to, you know, think about that if he's got some hair on his arm. But Ebel watches in general always have some of the nicest, most fluid bracelets of any Swiss-made watches that we air.
I can honestly say it feels like one piece. The bracelet seamlessly blends in to that case, and everything feels of jewelry quality. Because you know when you put a piece of jewelry on, it's designed to be on the wrist. Sometimes they spend so much time designing a watch head that the strap or the bracelet feels like an afterthought, and how it fits and how it may snag or not be easy to operate. This is all fluid that you realize they designed this as one piece, and it is so comfortable. And it looks great, because if this was the one watch you wear to the office that you had to wear out to dinner and then wear to the gym and then wear out on the cruise,
perfect.
You're there. It's probably the nicest dive watch
I
you're
was
going to
just
find.
about to say, and it's not just looks-wise that you can actually wear it to these different things, but because it's 200 meters of water resistance, you could really actually go diving in this watch.
In both this one and the gunmetal version, there is just a slight difference in the coloring of the silver that is on the Arabic numerals, the hour indices, the hands, and on the very outer part of the coin edge that adds just a bit of bright work, that it's not all in a matte finish. I think you're going to be stunned to get this $3,000 watch home for under $1,000. And let me say this again, 5 stress-free, interest-free payments of only $200 for an Ebel watch? That is phenomenal. 284280 gets you this outstanding, all Swiss-made watch, sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance, all of this style for 1/3 its retail price. Try somewhere else to get 70% off. Oh, that's an Alini.
It's actually kind of fitting that we had Miso Barocas on earlier, and we've got the Elini Barocas Gladiator, a 50mm case, airing right now. And what's funny is the Gladiator is not a new watch at all. In fact, this collection is about a year old now. But what is amazing is the fact that this is a new color combination and a very, very sporty one at that.
It's one of those watches that the first time I'm coming here and seeing one of these watches, I thought, man, I'm not going to make it here because these watches are too big and I don't have the wrist for it. And I saw all the style, and I remember you just reassuring me when you try that watch on, you're going to, because it's a 50mm case. And the ISA 8172 day-date quartz chronograph that's in here is just one of those movements that, you know, we know is a workhorse. It's going to hold up day in and day out. But the moment this goes on the wrist, you realize you felt like they took a mold of your wrist.
I'm going to try it on after you because Elini Barocas watches, the Gladiator and the Fortitudo in general, are 2 watches that have such big case designs and are so dramatic, and yet they fit even under 6 inches. And what's cool about this one, the royal blue strap is awesome, but you can really see on this watch that is a true multi-piece case design because it's a 2-tone of gunmetal and silver tone.
I love the fact that they have put so much detail in the watch, and maybe because his name is on it, there just maybe is just that slight touch of an edge. But it's going to blow people out of the water when you realize a watch easily in any part of the world would sell for $400, $500, $600, that they're doing it for under $80. And of course, this is a custom strap. You have a multi-layer dial. You have an exposed date window that gives you a slight exhibition into the dial itself. You have a fully functioning chronograph. You know, simply hitting that pusher is going to be our start, our stop, and of course our reset. Now let me slip this watch on. You need to see that even though the watch is large, at just how well it fits on the wrist. Now, if this isn't the right color combination for you, you've got to check out our website because there has got to be so many variations of this watch.
Oh my God.
I'm sure we have just the right one, but this one isn't a great look. Maybe you have a young person in your world that really has that, you know, eye for just good-looking watches and fashion. Then this is that watch that makes as much of a statement. Look how it pulls out the blue in my shirt the moment it goes on.
Yeah,
of course,
this is a fun
if they do a
watch to
close-up
wear.
on my shirt, it's going to look like the picture's gone out. It's just all static.
What's cool about this watch is we have this in black and rose and in black and silver and black and gold on our website. And it's a watch that we've many, many times talked about with you guys at home, being a watch that you could wear with a dress shirt, like to the office. And this one being it's more casual, it's kind of interesting that just changing a little bit of color on a watch totally changes the personality and where you could wear the watch.
Would you like to try this on?
I would love to try this watch.
Folks, you're now seeing this on a 6 3/4 inch wrist. It's a 50mm watch, yet it fits perfectly. I'm going to pass this over to Megan. I want her to try this on just so that you can see whether you are a lady or a gentleman with a smaller wrist, that this watch is not going to be overpowering. Maybe you've been to the mall and you've seen a kiosk with the jumbo watches and you've tried one on and went, I don't know how people wear this stuff.
No, this is super comfortable.
This is incredibly comfortable and it fits. That's important.
Here you can see it on my 6-inch wrist, and I'll show you that it's not even on the tightest closure on the silicone strap. Let me get that piece of fuzz off there. So this is something that will size down to even under a 6-inch wrist or up to over a 9-inch wrist. It's 9 1/4 at its maximum there. It's super comfortable. This is one of the best watches from Elini between the Gladiator and what I call the fraternal twin, which is the Fortitudo. Check these out on our website. Now, this is a brand new color combination, so it's kind of fun. I actually really like that they did something almost classic with silver tone and gunmetal, and then just totally out of left field gave you that blue strap. And notice that it is a custom strap because it's been custom cut for the 3-lug case design. $80. When this collection debuted a year ago, it was $129.99 on the shows. We could not keep them in stock. Now, new colors are coming out at $80. 5 payments of just $16. 205029. Last week on the show, we had the Jean Richard Aeroscope in every other version except the one that we've got now. And it was such a big seller that we've brought out a new color variation.
You're going to love this. This sandblasted DLC coating, the black that you're seeing on here, is not IP plating. And this diamond-like coating, which is what DLC stands for, is such a harder substance than what you would find with IP. Now, when you're producing a $5,600 watch, everything must be top drawer. So they've gone to not just titanium, but grade 5 titanium, all in this Swiss-made watch. They've used the sandblasted DLC or diamond-like coating to create the color on here, so that if you wanted a blacked out watch, but you wanted one that was super lightweight because of the all titanium, then this is the watch for you. Now, you know, in other parts of the watch, you're going to see maybe on the side, the satin finish right there. It's a brushed finish. There's the natural titanium on the back. By the way, grade 5 is for some of the best titanium you're going to get. And as they pull from the aerospace industry here in the Aeroscope, it's really going to give you just far more than you anticipate. Now, of course, it has the JR66 movement, which is a 43 joule movement with 42 hours of power reserve. It's a 49 millimeter case, and the tri-compacts layout, giving you the 3 sub-dials, is probably just one of the best looking. It kind of looks like instrumentation you would find in an aircraft or on the space shuttle.
We have this watch in many versions on our show. I know you love the one that's got the titanium bracelet. I like the one that's on the leather. And I think this is cool because this is perhaps the most sporty of them all and the lightest in weight, thanks to the silicone strap and then all that titanium. And as Wiley was explaining, with the black DLC, diamond-like carbon coating, that is what you see all over the titanium. Obviously, this is just the natural look of titanium, but everywhere you see black around this watch, on the buckle, the case, the bezel, DLC coating, that's as scratch resistant as the sapphire crystal on this watch. So this is a sporty watch, but it's also something that you could bang around. You could wear every single day. You could practically live in this watch, and it will never show signs of wear and tear.
It's one of those things, and I think that's a great point to bring out to folks, is I brought a watch in today that's one of my favorite watches that even though it's in stainless steel and sapphire crystal, the crystal looks great, but the watch got banged up. And I'm going to see if they can do their magic here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we have watch repair people here. Here's a watch that you're going to wear for years and years, and you're going to have far more injury to your wrist if you bang this watch up.
That's true.
Because that diamond-like coating is going to repel like a diamond would. Sapphire and diamond make great combinations.
Yes,
they do. I thought you would agree with that. Of course, that JR, the Jean Richard 66 movement with the 43 joule, there's 42 hours of power reserve. This is a watch that you don't have to wear every day, that you can pick up, and it's still going to keep the right time. I really think you're going to love the watch on how it looks, how it feels, and the fact that you're getting it at a fraction of what you would normally pay. $5,600 not here, $1,399 or only $280 to get it home. All Swiss-made, Jean Richard luxury and construction. Go ahead and check it out on the internet and see if it is as high-end as we're telling you. See if you can find it for less anywhere else. You're going to be right back here because we have free shipping.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving into our third and final hour of the show today. We're so glad you guys are joining us. We will have an all-new show and lineup tomorrow, and you have until Sunday Eastern, midnight Eastern, to get all of these purchases with the TV price and the 5 stress-free payments. Every single item is bid on stress-free payments of 5 months today. What that means is you'll make your first payment today, and then you'll have 4 more monthly payments after that, all interest-free. Now, some people might want to know why 5, why not 12, or why not 9, or whatever it is. 6 is the maximum that we are legally allowed to give as a company because we're not a bank or a financial lending institution. So the fact that we are just under that at every single item being 5, we're not saying, oh, some are 3, some are 4. Every single watch is on 5 payments. So the difference between our show and every day on the website is every day on the website you're going to find discounted prices, but on the show with Wiley and I, you get a further price reduction and you get the stress-free payments. So a lot of times if you see something on the website, it sort of pays to wait a day or so for the show to come out, because then we're usually able to give it to you with the stress-free payments. So I think it's just great. I love it.
And it also counts that we sold it. It also counts that we sold it. Not that we get commission, but we love to be able to say that we helped you get your watch.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. That's why we always want to make sure we're giving you as much information about every single watch as possible. That's why, even though we're only on the show for a limited amount of hours every single day, almost every single watch on our website, and we are working to have every single watch on the website have this, we do detailed product videos. So Wiley and I actually shoot product videos similar to his presentation of that Jean Richard, or when I'm presenting something. Each watch has its own unique video where you can learn more about the different watches. So if you ever have a question about something on the website and you look up that unique item page, chances are you'll see a video of one of us there. And it's kind of crazy because we'll actually never get to a point where every single watch has a video, because our company is always buying watches.
There's
or
only
designing
2 of
watches.
us.
There's only so much we can do. But we do love it. So we're going to jump into a preview now and show you just a little sample of what's coming up in our 3rd hour together. I love how all these previews have bright links.
Well, you know what? I am delighted that the previews have had bright links. And this is probably one of those that you're going to love the most. And it's one of my favorite, even though it's a big watch at 43 millimeters. This is that watch that has 450 parts on the inside. Now ponder that. A cabinetier taking 450 parts to assemble it. Notice that each one of the subdials has 2 hands giving you 2 different functions off of just 3 subdials. All of these multifunctions within this case, with a 42-hour power reserve, the B19 movement, which is a 38 joule automatic sapphire crystal. This is that calendar that is so accurate, Megan, that you only have to adjust it once every leap year.
That's crazy.
I can't figure out how to sometimes get my, stuff
Advance
blinking.
the date?
Yeah. The electronics at the house to work right. And here is a watch that they have figured out how to make the gears, wires, and springs keep track for 4 years.
I was just thinking how you're talking about if you can imagine something that has 450 parts, and the first thing that my mind went to was like, if you've ever purchased something and like had to build it like from IKEA or something, there's so many parts. I mean, the idea, this is making me nervous just thinking about 450 parts in a 43 millimeter watch.
This is why I don't work for Breitling,
Yeah,
because
I
I would have like
can't-
little
this is
boxes
why.
left over. Like, were these important?
Yeah, these weren't important parts, right? 282721. More Swiss-made luxury coming up right after that. We aired the Eternavon Big Date last hour. No, in our first hour, excuse me, with that gunmetal dial and the black strap. Here, you've got that beautiful silver tone with the silvery white dial and that rich brown Louisiana alligator strap. Inside is an in-house built, Swiss-made automatic movement from the company who created the ETA movement. $1,400 for a $7,500 Swiss-made watch. Even better are the stress-free payments. This has one of the most beautiful classic looks because of the concave sapphire crystal and a slight, I don't want to use the word puff, but there's really, that's the only way to describe the
Cushion.
slight cushion. Okay, the slight cushion.
Puff. Did you see puff?
Puff of the dial. 101465. I'm just so technical.
You're such a girl. Guys, buy our puffy watch. You'll like it. It's pretty. Luminox, a manly watch that a woman can wear.
That's right. 165632. This is a 43 millimeter from the Color Mark series. It's all made out of PC carbon on a silicone strap. So the
What
watch
is PC
weighs-
carbon? What does that do?
Oh, this watch is not only incredibly tactical and resilient, but it's also incredibly lightweight. This will be a fun one to weigh.
So this is not plastic.
Oh, no. $260. You're just $10 above dealer's cost here, ladies and gentlemen. 5 payments of $52 for a watch designed and worn by the U.S. Navy SEALs. 165632.
You know, I kind of see you as G.I. Jane.
Really?
Well, because
What a
you're
compliment
very
that is.
feminine, but you have these moments where
I could totally kick your butt. You're right.
I have no doubt. That's why we don't fight in the break room. I mean, you have this love for like Ben and Sons, and
I
you
know.
know, and it's just, I like it. It's kind of cute. Hello. Breitling, the Transocean. Now, I want you to just for a moment, as we switch from that beauty shot, to look at what you're going to get. When you get that great box in the mail that you really realize, ooh, I've got a package. And then you open it up and you take all the fluff and stuff out, you're going to find the Breitling box in there. And if you've not seen one of these, well, this is your opportunity to get it for less than anybody else. You're going to get that Breitling box home. When you open it up and you realize that inside is what, I don't care if the watch is $1,200 from Breitling, good luck finding that one, or if you happen to find one that is $30,000, you're going to get that beautiful case. You know, that one I told you about that has the emergency responder.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievably expensive watch. Comes in the same case. When you open it up, oh my goodness. That is such a good-looking watch. The Transocean is celebrating those occasions when we are making transatlantic flights for the first time, not just crossings by ship. Sometimes when you think, you know, transatlantic, you're thinking ships. Well, yes, we've been doing that for a long time. But when we started doing it by plane, it was a big deal. People dressed for the occasion. In fact, you'll see homage on the back of the watch to aircraft, which are those great skyliners that used to cross the Atlantic. People dressed for it. Well, now here's a watch celebrating that moment in history. The Transocean 1461 is one of those watches that, again, 450 moving parts within that watch. It has a complete calendar that is adjusted once every leap year. It's a 43 millimeter case with 42 hours of power reserve. The B19 movement on the inside is a 38 joule automatic, and that's a sapphire crystal protecting that gorgeous dial with all of those multifunctions. Now, I did not count how many complications are on this watch, but I know each subdial has 2 complications, so there's 6.
Plus the lunar phase.
Plus the lunar phase.
Plus the fact that it keeps time.
That's a lot. All from those parts. Again, I cannot imagine that someone was able to design just gears, springs, levers, and wires to move the internal innards of this watch. And the motion of your body powers it, and it's keeping track of all of this in probably one of the most beautiful and elegant dials. And what do we say? One of the most beautiful straps that you're going to find in the watch world. That stainless steel strap, the bracelet on this watch is gorgeous. Now, what's nice about it is if you have a smaller wrist, and perchance you don't need all of that stainless steel on your wrist, that how do you size down a woven metal bracelet? Well, Breitling has figured that out by creating, 2/3 or more of the strap or bracelet happens to be solid woven material. But look what happens when you get to the bottom. Do you see how it just flares those little indices where it is separated? Those are links. So if you don't want to carry around all that extra stainless steel, if you have a smaller wrist, you simply take those links out and you wear the rest of the woven metal. That is ingenious. It is probably one of the best quality and best looking bracelets in the watch world, in my opinion. And it looks great on this $10,000 watch. Look at all the bright work as the light reflects off of the table.
What's amazing about this watch is you get the Breitling name, you get something super classic that you'll have for the rest of your life, but because of the bracelet, it doesn't look like everything else. So, there's the kind of gentleman that would wear a Breitling, but then there's the kind of gentleman that would wear a Transocean with this style of bracelet, and they're very different people, of course.
There is a very much the maverick look to the Breitling aviation side. And you've seen pilots, jet pilots are standing by their planes. They're wearing the large dialed chronographs. There's an aviation look. Well, here's something in aviation that says that you happen to love it, but you may not be the pilot. You may be that elegant passenger that happens to be chauffeured from continent to continent. And if you want to be the Continental, this is the watch for you. And you're going to be able to do it at really pedestrian prices. Because look at this, a $10,000 watch at only $779 over the dealer cost. Now, if you don't know what that means, if you see a watch that's $10,000, it means that local retailer had to buy that watch for $5,000. And then he's able to put whatever markup, unless it's a price-protected brand, and then he has to sell it for what it's listed at from the manufacturer. As Megan has said, and rightly so, go walk by a Breitling store and tell me if you see a 50% off sign at the door. I bet you don't.
You would not.
And I actually was speaking to a Breitling employee, and I rarely reveal where I spend my days and evenings.
You're so secretive.
Here at Swiss Watch. And I actually told him what I did, and he told me his cost for these watches. And I said, oh, you need to shop with us. Because even as a Breitling employee and representative, he could not get the watch at this price. These are brand new in the box. Brand new in the box. Please give this a consideration. This beautiful 450-part Swiss-made sapphire crystal. And look at how the crystal sits up above there. Now, you don't have to worry about that scratching. That's sapphire. But it's made to look like Hesselite, which was a form of plastic that they used to use in old vintage watches. They weren't vintage at the time, they were new, but that was the new style, using plastic. This is sapphire, so it's not going to scratch. Beautiful watch, incredible price, $282721. The Breitling Transocean 1461 can be yours if you just give us a call. We want to get this pinnacle piece home to you, and yes, it is on 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. Megan, do you have something special?
I do have something very special to share.
You are working on something that I absolutely love. Gorgeous, gorgeous piece.
286878, the Cartier Pasha Automatic. Now, you'll notice the sticker on our graphics that says store display. This is a watch that was a store display, but store displayed items are 100% guaranteed brand new, never before worn. So this is something that, yes, was on display perhaps at a jeweler or a high-end watch store, but this is not a refurbed, a pre-owned, or a gently used watch. In fact, I'm just going to give this one more buff. This is, condition-wise, like brand new.
Well, it is. Think about when you walked by a high-end jewelry store and you see the watch sitting in the window. This has been exactly that. It has been sitting in the window, and now you're able to see it on your wrist, but at almost half the price that you would normally pay for the watch.
What you're looking at here is a very unique mix of kind of that elegant appearance in a 42 millimeter case, but keeping up with that sporty appeal that, kind of like Breitling, Cartier is really known for. Inside this watch is a Swiss-made automatic movement, of course, an automatic chronograph. I want you to see that through the exhibition case back. Perhaps we can come in just a little bit closer in a moment so you can see the movement inside. Inside this beautiful watch is a Swiss-made ETA movement that has been modified in-house. Come in a little closer, please, so you can see that. And then given out with Cartier's stamp of appeal. We're just going to get in close. Thank you so much. So I want you to be able to see that inside your dial here. This is underneath, actually, that exhibition crystal. And you can see Swiss-made 41 jewel movement. So Cartier actually moves this movement in-house, adds jewels, the decoration, and makes it all their own. Looking inside the dial, you'll notice the unique layout of the dial is equally matched by the unique layout of the 42 millimeter case, the two-piece pushers, and the oversized crown with the beautiful dark blue cabochon. You've got the T-bar style lugs attaching, sorry that it's a little smudged there, attaching the customized bracelet. I love that it's a combination of brushing and mirror polishing on the H-links. This is a watch that Cartier does make for men and women, but this 42 millimeter size, while technically being considered a men's watch, as you can see on my wrist, does fit very, very well. This adds such a beautiful brilliance to the wrist because it's so unique. I'm going to actually close it, or just, put the two pieces of the bracelet together, and you can see this. There we go. That's a much better shot. So you can see how this wears. Now, it is a 42 millimeter measured size, but because you have the extended pushers and crown area, it's going to be a little bit larger on the wrist. I want to reiterate something. Even though it's a store model, it has never been worn before. So it is like brand new. I was having a discussion the other day with one of my best friends, and he has quite a collection of high-end watches, and he's always been into watches. He was talking to me about the fact that he met a deal, like a watch dealer, and was speaking to a watch dealer, and the watch dealer said to him, and I thought this was so interesting, that according to this watch dealer, most serious collectors out there will tell you that it's not necessary to buy brand new watches all the time, especially when you're talking about super high-end watches. And as we've seen on the shows and connecting with a lot of our viewers and many of you watch collectors out there, it's very common for watch lover to watch lover people to actually sort of switch or sell watches. And it's kind of interesting because you think, oh, well, I don't want something used. Keep in mind, this isn't like, I mean, even buying a certified pre-owned car, there's nothing wrong with that. This is a step further than that, though, because it's never been worn. It's not like, oh, the mileage on this watch is going to somehow make it less in value or appearance. It's like buying a brand new watch. I know it wouldn't bother me, for example.
I know down here in South Florida, every time I stop at a stoplight, there's a Rolls Royce somewhere around me.
Yeah, me too.
And I wouldn't ever think if somebody bought a pre-owned Rolls Royce, I wouldn't go, oh, you bought it pre-owned. How sad.
How embarrassing.
When it comes to high-end items, luxury items, it's not unusual to find just the right thing that may have a year or two on it. But this is just a store display. So it is brand new, and it's had a great life, and it's waiting to be there with you. Oh, that's nice.
Of course it's nice. Why don't you put that on the wrist?
Yeah, I think this is, we'll have to have a hard time getting this off.
So, of course, because it's a store display model, we unfortunately only have one of them. So if you're the kind of man out there or lady who has only ever dreamed of owning a Cartier, and in fact, another Cartier that's coming up right after this, I was telling everybody before the show started, the next Cartier that we're going to show you is actually the Grail watch for my boyfriend.
Okay, this looks good. You know, if we have a holiday party here, I just want to.
This is what you want?
I'm just going to name drop.
Oh, okay, sure.
Cartier. I hope somebody's listening. $12,900 is what you're going to pay, whether it's at the jewelry store, the Cartier store. But look at this. Here is a store display model for $6,000. This is not just a few $100s off or a few $1,000s off. You're almost, not quite, at the halfway point for being able to get this watch, $6,999. That is incredible. And look at that jewelry style, bracelet. I mean, that to me is just absolutely incredible. I mean, look at that. I mean, there is a look to this that you just don't find anywhere else. And this is an easy to read watch. It's one of those in a classic configuration, that the moment you see it, you realize what you've got. And the Pasha style, I mean, when you think Cartier, the very first name that comes out of my mouth when it comes to watches is the Pasha design. Now,
really?
You said this other style is one your boyfriend likes?
Yeah, this next one, he loves this one.
Folks, we really want to reiterate that you're not going to find a better deal on a Cartier out there. $1,400 is what gets it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free, interest-free payments. I say only, and I have to just be cautious because we don't want to sound callous because of the price point, but it's only $6,999 in comparison to its $13,000 price. And think of how much money you're saving in tax by only buying it at half. Seriously.
That's true.
I mean, you ever think about that?
Yeah.
That you're not just saving the money of the list price, but the tax that you would pay?
Oh, wow. That is a good point. I actually haven't thought about that before.
Because that's like another $300, $400, or depending on what state you're in, that you're saving. Again, and we're doing free shipping. Try that anywhere else. Again, go to the bank, ask for $7,000. Tell them you don't want to pay any interest on it. And then you want free shipping, you want all this other, it's all because we have that kind of buying power. Congratulations to all of you who may get this Cartier. And if you like this one, look what Megan has to offer.
286-888. Another one that is a store display model of the Cartier Roadster. Yeah, I was making a comment before. This watch, my boyfriend, this is his Grail watch right here. Anybody else out there that loves this watch as much as he does and has thought to yourself, well, I'll never be able to afford a $7,300 watch. It's $4,000. And the stress-free payments, it's $800 down. the Cartier Roadster with the Cartier caliber 3110 automatic movement inside. Notice your beautiful tonneau shaped case and how it's perfectly integrated into the bracelet. Cartier, interestingly enough, was the very first watch brand to popularize the tank style of watches. And here, second to that, they've also popularized this style, this tonneau shape with the integrated bracelet. Now this automatic, when we come in closer on the dial, you'll be able to see, it's a beautiful, we're calling black in our graphics, but when you get a closer look, I think you'll agree it almost takes on a bit of that gunmetal sheen to it. Notice the beautiful texturing around your hour markers where the Roman numerals are. The Cyclops magnified crystal for your 3 o'clock date window, how that flows right onto that sapphire crystal, the extended crown. And again, a timepiece in a classic size. Look how easily I can slide it onto my wrist because of how generous the bracelet length is, but how well it fits even my 6-inch wrist. So again, Cartier takes a Swiss-made automatic movement. They adjust it to their own specifications. Here, calling it the caliber 3110 automatic movement. And that's what you're looking at. How beautiful is this? You know what's also nice? I know it's kind of silly to talk about, but you also get 100 meters of water resistance on this timepiece. So yes, it's amazing and you'll wear it with a tuxedo, but you can also wear this in the pool if you needed to. I'm sliding it off. I want you to see that curvature so I can pass it over to Wiley. But notice how the sides are all high mirror polishing and how the bracelet links look identical to the shape of the case.
You know, Megan, you're talking about the water resistance within the watch. But if somebody was going on a cruise or somebody was at a luxury resort, you don't want to have to necessarily, if you're packing light, carry multiple watches. Here's a watch that can take you to that elegant dinner, but also if you're out by the pool and you're lounging and you want to jump in, you don't have to take the watch off.
I'm going to pass this over to Wiley now, so you can try this on, because I think that you've got to see this. Now, which one of the two do you like? You said Pasha you really like, right?
I like the Pasha. Well,
I like this one too. I think I would wear the Roadster.
I'll tell you what I love about this, and they'll come back in closer on it in just a moment.
Fits.
Oh yeah, that feels good. I want you to take a look at that sapphire crystal again and that exaggerated, unique shape Cyclops. It's over the date complication that I think looks so good. This is a beautiful watch. The contrast between that high mirror polish and that satin finish on this, you see a lot of folks try to mimic it, but this is pretty stunning all the way around.
So please take advantage of these amazing discounts as a store display model. Store display models have never ever been worn and are 100% authentic. They are actually purchased exclusively from authorized dealers. So let's think about that for a second. The list price on this watch is $7,300. Now, let's just say, doing what we know to be true with dealers' costs and all of that, let's just say that what dealers' cost on this watch would have been $3,650, something like that. Let's just say $3,700. We've only raised the price $300 above dealer's cost.
If somebody
is it.
Yeah, if somebody had this sitting in the window all that time and they sold it to us to sell to you, there is practically no money, changing hands there.
No,
Very
not
little.
at all.
But it's worked for Walmart. The business model of we'd rather sell a whole lot and make a little than just to sit back on these watches and go, well, you know what? It's $7,000. We're selling it for $6,000, which that's the wow price. But when we put it on the show, we certainly move a whole lot more, and it makes a whole lot of people happy. Shopping with confidence here at World of Watches. We happen to be watchmakers, watch lovers, and watch collectors, and we want them on your wrist as well. Always free shipping, 30-day money-back guarantee, and for only $800, you're going to be able to get a $7,000 Cartier, one of the best names in jewelry, home on your wrist. 5 stress-free interest-free payments, and it is gorgeous. Speaking of high-end.
101465. So of the 2 variations you're presenting this one now in the first hour. I keep saying last hour, but in our first hour you had the one that was black and silver tone with the gunmetal dial. Which one do you think? Maybe we can remind everybody of that one as well from the first hour so they can see the 2 different variations we've got.
Eterna since 1856 has been building beautiful timepieces. Here with the Vaughn Big Date, they wanted to create that classic watch that was easy to read at a distance, and it gave you just exactly what you needed to know just at a glance. Here's a 3-hand configuration for the hour, the minute, that continuously operating sweep hand, and a large date complication at the 3 o'clock with 2 date wheels, and notice it's perfectly matched in color to the dial. This is one of those watches that the moment you look at it, you realize something special is here. There is a great curvature in the cushion style case, and as we come into the live shot, I want you to really just take a peek at the box that you're going to get. You know, when you see that the Eterna logo is just kind of cleverly hidden throughout on the watch and different aspects of it, and you're going to love that. But when you open that up and you realize, okay, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful all the way around. And I'm going to take this out in just a moment. I'm going to put it on. I want you to really just see how well this classic timepiece is going to hold up. Not just for today, but then all the tomorrows to come, because they've created a classic configuration. It's not trendy in any way, shape, or form. It's a $7,500 watch, because this is an all handmade Swiss watch with that gorgeous automatic movement on the inside. Next, the watch, as small as it is going to look like maybe it's a quartz movement. But no, all within this micro-thin case is still 50 meters of water resistance. And you also have that great Swiss movement on the inside. It's an all Swiss-made watch, sapphire crystal, protecting that beautiful cushion dial. And as we come to the live shot, I'm going to turn the watch just slightly to its side so that you can see the cushion shape. Now, you're looking at the watch straight on. It almost looks flat, as, you know, well, it should. But as you begin to turn the watch to the side, you begin to see that cushion shape. And you really see how much design has gone into this. Because look how thin this is. Remember, there is space between this sapphire crystal, the rotor, the movement, the dial, the hands, the space, and then the crystal again, all within this micro-thin case. By the way, you can see the crown also has the Eterna logo. Flipping this over, you're going to also be able to see into the back of that watch. You're going to be able to see the Côte de Genève, the watchmaker's decoration that's there on the rotor. And if I flip it over just enough, you're going to be able to see into the beating heart of the watch. There it is, right there. Megan, again, this is that ultimate question in the universe. Would your boyfriend wear this watch?
Yes, he would, of course.
Oh, there it is.
Who
Perfect.
wouldn't wear this watch?
You know, there are some folks that maybe the dress watch isn't their thing, and you're looking for something sportier. We have it. But this really does have that look of, who does this not fit? Now, if you want the darker dial, by all means, take a look at it, because we also have it. In fact, I always encourage you, when you see something you like, go ahead and take a peek at our website to see if there's something else that just kind of pushes your button. I think this is going to be one of those watches that could be in your top list of things that you would like. I happen to like the darker version just a little bit better. It's just in a classic configuration. But since I just bought a watch with a dark dial,
oh, there we go.
I didn't say the beautiful Maurice Lacroix 5-hand that I just bought, but rather this with the lighter dial is very appealing.
Yeah, it's nice to have an option of one or the other. I think this one looks more classic and maybe can be dressed down slightly more than the black with the gunmetal dial. But it's great that you have the option to choose between the two, and that we have enough available for people to be able to choose if they wanted one.
Jenny, do you have the Omega DeVille anywhere sitting nearby? I think it's coming up. I want them to see maybe just a little bit of contrast, because there's two very different price points. They're both luxury watches. But you can see that even a company like Omega was able to pull from that classic configuration. Now, I mean this in, is it gone? Oh, I remember it from yesterday. I loved seeing that watch. It's just one of those watches that it looks almost exactly like this. And I mean this with the greatest of compliments. This looks like a watch my dad would wear.
Classic.
Well, it is that it harkens back to a different era. You know, he as a young man in the 50s or even in the 40s, he would have wore a watch like this. And I think this pulls from such a great look. In fact, let's just go ahead and switch so you can see the other variation and kind of get an idea why. I think both of them look great. Look at this.
I love this one because of the reverse date wheel, how it almost blends into the dial itself.
But easy to read.
We did present this one in the first hour, so we're just quickly mentioning it right now. You want to do a side-by-side comparison?
Oh, sure. Let them see them. Now, the number is for the darker watch, but I want you to see side-by-side on the hand, and you can see that both of these have very unique looks to them. And
This is the item number right now.
Yes.
And this is the one you just had on.
This is the Men in Black watch.
Yeah.
It's not from the movie, but this is what I think they would wear if they hadn't worn the Futura by Hamilton. This is one of those watches that just will go with anything. It dresses up, dresses down, and it looks stunning. How can it not? It's a $7,500 watch. Both of these are handmade Swiss watches that you will not regret owning. In fact, we're going to guarantee that if you get the watch home and change your mind, we're going to pay for the shipping there and back. We want you to be happy. $1,399 is the price. $280 gets it home. 101464 for the Eterna Vaughn Big Date.
All right, staying with Swiss made, but going into a completely different style. The 44 millimeter Luminox from their Color Mark collection. 165632. So you are weighing the watch?
I am, because when I think Luminox, I think big, bold, heavy, military. It's the size of a tank, and it weighs 40 grams. Okay, that is nothing. In
Probably
fact,
weighs about as much as the box it comes
we
in.
have to keep our finger on the watch, or it'll float off the table. Okay, I just want you to take a peek at the watch and realize when you take it out of the box, you're really going to worry, did I buy a plastic watch? No. The PC reinforced carbon case is a military grade material that is absolutely ultra lightweight. The silicone strap, even down to choosing to use a mineral dial which is lighter than sapphire or the other denser materials, has created a watch that you are just going to be amazed at how it will just float away. I want to encourage you that if you like Luminox, but you're afraid it's going to be too big and too heavy, to consider this. If you're afraid sometimes the watches are too dark, then consider something from the Color Mark series, because that splash of color certainly does brighten it up a bit, but not so much so that it is offensive or it stands out or it's too trendy. As you come in even closer, you're going to be able to see, of course, you have 200 meters of water resistance, and you have that great uni-rotating bezel. Now, if you look around here, all the hour indices have these little white kind of just slats on there. They're actually tubes filled with an inert gas called tritium. You'll also see them on the hands. This is not a substance that you have to hold up to light and hope you can charge it up. Tritium, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, glows. And all you need is darkness to see it. It never has to be recharged. Take a look at it right here, and you can see that lume. That's what you're going to see when you step into that darkened theater or outside at night. Easy to tell the time, and each one of the watches has a different color combination to be able to show that off. Now I'm going to slip the watch on. It feels, I guess because of the lightweightness, I think the watch is too small, but it's not.
No, not at all. It's a 44 millimeter.
I would have said it's a 40, because to me it feels like I'm expecting a 40 millimeter, but once it's on the wrist, you'll see that it looks great. And once again, because of the color in my shirt, this just looks great.
You've got a Swiss-made Ronda quartz chronograph movement inside, and it's a great dive watch too. This is the kind of thing. Did you show the case back with the Navy SEALs?
No, I will take it off and show it in just a second.
You've got to.
Yeah, the watch looks great. You notice it has a dual keeper as well as the tangs on there that hold it in place. There's two of them, so you have a little bit more reassurance. There is the Navy insignia.
That's so cool, because it's just showing, Wiley and I aren't just saying, oh, Luminox works with the Navy SEALs. Oh, these watches are worn by our military elite. They actually were a part of the production, and you can see their stamp right there on the case back. So I just think that's really cool, because it shows that Luminox isn't a company that just designs and says, oh, this would be great for the Navy. They actually wear these watches.
It's for the Navy.
Yeah.
If it's tough enough for them, I assure you it's going to be able to take you on all of life's adventures and do it very, very well. And of course, if you're in the military, God bless you. We appreciate all of your work out
Yes,
there.
we do.
And we would love for you to be able to get one of these watches and hopefully you'll wear it with pride, just as we are proud of you. Coming up next,
A gorgeous gentleman's watch from the Miros collection. We actually have this in two sizes, and I believe this is the full size 42 millimeter. We do have a smaller size available. I think we're going to show maybe next. That's the ladies size. But I love a two-tone for you gentlemen.
I have to say that if I had to have one watch, this would be easy to wear as the everyday watch. I love the bright work in the gold that is on it. This gold plating. And again, because you're dealing with a high-end watch manufacturer, this is not just lightly sprayed on here that in 6 months, oh, it rubbed off.
No.
Their application, the microns of gold that are applied to the watch are done far thicker because of it being a $1,600 watch that you're going to find in some very, very inexpensive watches that you might find at the big box store that you happen to purchase on the way out for 10 bucks. This is one of those watches that is incredibly thin, incredibly lightweight, but look at what you're getting. All Swiss made, sapphire crystal. You happen to have a watch that is classic in all of its style and configuration, and it's going to lay so flat on the wrist.
I made a mistake. I was confusing this one with the chronograph. This is the 40 millimeter variation. The chronographs for men are 42. So this is a true classic size.
This is the size that I would wear.
It looks good on you.
Absolutely. And I think that this watch has been so well designed, and just the pops of gold are in the right shade of yellow, easy to read. You have just enough lume on the hands that if you happen to be into a dark theater, again, stepping outside, you're going to be able to tell the time. 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, continuously operating sweep hand, and you happen to have a date complication at the 3 o'clock position. You have a dual push button, dual deployant. Again, I have a small wrist but a large hand. So even this is larger than I would wear, but if I were to take out the appropriate links and try to put this over my hand without that dual deployant, it's going to be tough. But notice it slips on easily, and then it can cinch down to just the right size once it's been sized for you. Now, do you like this one?
I do. I actually can't wait to get to the ladies' version of it that I know is coming up, because I think it's a great his and hers. Maybe you want to get your parents gifts for an anniversary coming up, or maybe they've got a big wedding anniversary. Maybe yourselves, you want to get them. You want to get you and your wife something, or you and your husband something. Isn't that nice?
See, you could wear either one of these.
I would actually wear either one of these, because this next one, we're going to transition now to the item number for the ladies' variation.
And you know, at our price point, you literally could buy both of these watches, the gentlemen and the ladies. And if a lady wanted to have both sizes, depending on what she was wearing and her accessories, she's still less than the retail price.
Absolutely. So this is the ladies' variation, which is a 32 millimeter. Compared next to the 40 millimeter. It's the exact same watch. What's nice is how all mirror polished the gold tone is. And then you've got the mirror polished gold tone bezel and hour markers, which are all hand applied. Notice how the center chapter of the silver dial is more of a dark brushed finishing with the lighter edge. Maybe we could come in a little bit closer as well so you could see that. So slimlined, beautiful and easy to wear. 286490. This is the ladies' variation in a 32 millimeter. And monthly payment wise, it's just a couple of dollars less every single month. Okay, I don't think we're going to get any closer than that. So we'll just move on. 286490. If you wait until after midnight Eastern on Sunday, the price on that watch goes up to over $1,000. Much like this watch, after midnight Eastern Sunday, the price on this watch doubles, and that's one payment, because during the show, we give you a lower price than the website, and you can break it out into those stress-free payments. That is not available every single day on our website.
An absolutely stunning timepiece. The Maurice Lacroix Pontos d'Eccentrique is a gorgeous, gorgeous watch. Now, I hope that we still have some of these left. I know these were selling at such an incredible rate, and sometimes even by the time they bring these watches out, this is why we want you to act quickly, is, you know, we started, 2.5 hours ago, and these watches can sell so quickly. So if there are still some of these left, we want you to act on it. If not, keep looking on our website, because we're going to check that out, because I'm starting to get a signal that already we're showing that there's still one of these left. So for that lucky customer, we'll just make sure that if you see this and this is one that you want, and we've had these in the past, so should it possibly sell out, you can always check back with us, because we want you to have these beautiful timepieces. Come on in even closer there, Rudy. And I want them to see this beautiful original. There is your first time zone. And you can see it's a 3-hand configuration. And with a simple touch, I am able to change. Look at that. And you can tell AM to PM. Megan, have you done any world traveling? Have you done something on the other side of the globe?
Yes, I have, a few times.
So now you have a friend that's in where?
She lives in Tel Aviv, and she's been traveling in Kenya.
So it's probably, let's see, since you know, if it's light here, it
I
can
mean,
be
God
dark
only
there.
knows what time it is where she is at any time.
But you know what? You don't have to have deity. You only have to have this watch right now to be able to tell the time because he's busy doing other stuff.
I love how animated that is with those two. You don't expect to see something like that, but I really think it's so cool.
Well, I love the fact that with a simple push, you're able to adjust, you know, an hour ahead and then know whether it's AM or PM at a simple glance. And of course, you're getting an all Swiss-made watch, incredibly lightweight. You're going to love the fact that both front and back have sapphire crystal, and you're really going to appreciate just how gorgeous the watch is. Now, this is incredibly lightweight, and of course, you know why.
That's right, grade 5 titanium.
This titanium looks gorgeous in this natural naked finish. And you're also going to appreciate that with this alligator strap that you're going to take a lot of stress off by simply running it through the deployant and let it do the work. Because once it's sized, which is easy just to thread it through, simply closing this does all the work for you. We're going to do just this quick presentation because our time is just flying by.
That's right.
$8,760 for this gorgeous Maurice Lacroix watch. The wow price of $5,200, well, that really is a big savings, but look at the show price. For the one that we have left, if it hasn't already sold, because we're still updating right now on our system, $2,199.99. Now remember, there are other great watches, and we have just gotten a great collection of Maurice Lacroix watches. And Megan, what are some of the other names they might look for?
Oh, well, my hot pick is a Miros. We've got an incredible selection of Pontos on our website. We have an incredible array of Maurice Lacroix watches of all different kinds. You can see their masterpiece collection. We've got the Les Classiques. So there's always something for everybody on our website. And WorldofWatches.tv right now, which is holding our lineup for today and tomorrow's show. Wiley and I, over the course of 2 days, only have 6 hours on air. And it sounds like a lot, and it is. But think about how many watches we get through in an hour. What's nice is the people on our team here actually select 100 to 200 additional watches that they know we won't have time to air on the show, but they still want you to be able to shop them with the TV price and the stress-free payments. So go to WorldofWatches.tv, maybe right before you place your order, to make sure there isn't something there that you might also want. And remember, because we do product videos for every single item, you can feel as though you're getting some of that great presentation just by watching the videos. Oh,
yeah, because it's like a minute or two of this show. You can see it on the wrist, kind of get a feel. We'll give you a bit of a review of it, and hopefully you'll see it in 3 dimensions. It's tough when you see a photograph up there of what the watch looks like. So we try to make sure that we handle the watch, let you see it in a real-world setting, and hopefully it'll be just the right one for you.
And much like the real world, my presentations are a minute, his are 5.
What?
All right, I think we've only got time for a few more, so we're going to go, I have no idea where.
Bundles. We have bundles to talk about. We haven't had a chance to show you because, you know, last week we got to show you some great bundles on the show, and Megan can explain what the bundles are.
A bundle of joy and savings awaits you. Let's bring them out right now.
Good transition.
Oh, yes.
You're like a professional, but
not.
not.
Yeah, it's almost like I do this for a living. Yes, that's exactly what I am. Like a professional, but not.
This is that rare occasion where we will give you not just a gift, but you're getting 2 watches.
For the price of one.
I think, are we just, hey, Magic Rudy 1 or 2 or 3 in there? Are we going to show these or just talk about them? Well, these are just mentions because we're running out of time.
That's right. These were the big sellers last week on the show. And this first variation is actually one of my favorites, 287018. You guys know the Abyssos. It's the new Swiss-made Swiss legend with the STP 1-11 automatic movement inside. It's a 1,000-meter water-resistant timepiece. We are now packaging that with the classic 52-millimeter Neptune in the automatic. The automatic Neptunes are only available in the 52-millimeter size. So you're getting 2 big watches here for one small price. The Neptune comes packaged in a watch winder. The Abyssos comes packaged in a custom 3-slot watch box that is watertight. So all of that together for $300 as the total price. Even better are the stress-free payments. $2 a day. Think about that. It's interest-free. So you are at $2 a day to have 2 watches that are automatic Swiss-made, and one of them is a full Swiss-made watch. Now, I want to get through all the different color variations. So this first one, 287018. This variation is the black 52 millimeter Neptune with the rose tone bezel and hour markers. Wait, we're gonna start this. We're going back and forth here. This is the one that we just had. Now here's another one that we're going to. Don't you love live television? 287014. This is the item number for the black and rose 52 millimeter Neptune and the black and silver 48 millimeter Abyssos. The Abyssos, again, Swiss-made watch. The Neptune, not a Swiss-made watch, but features a Swiss-made automatic movement inside. And yes, this is the same Abyssos as 5 years ago, which was a 1,000 meter watch. This is the 2.0 version of that, 1,000 meters of water resistance. 287014. 287014 for this color combo. Again, it's $300 or 5 payments of 60.
This gives us a great opportunity to give you an idea of what's out there, because you can always check out the website, linger there just for a moment, and pick out the right combo. And this is another variation. The all blacked out Abyssos looks incredible, and then that all blacked out Neptune with just a little splash of color around the dial. The bezel really looks incredible. Now remember, you're getting 2 watches, a watch winder, and a 3-slot waterproof watch box for that $299. The $1,495 price point is actually just the cost of the Abyssos. That doesn't include the other watch and the winder in the retail price, which would be over $2,000 for the entire 4-piece set. This is a great gift idea. With the holidays right around the corner, pick one of these collections.
Yeah, you could actually give 2 gifts with this.
Or a stunning 4-gift
one heck of a set, but
yeah, but that's a nice set. So remember, the Swiss Legend Abyssos and Neptune, both of these for that one price. We want to congratulate everybody who's picking those up, because you have really picked a good collection for your watch collection.
now, moving from super sporty to incredibly elegant, the Paragon Automatic. Niso Barocas himself debuted these watches just 2.5 hours ago on the show. Brand new from Lucien Piccard. I find this to be just one of the most beautiful. Talk about an amazing gift to give. Can you imagine giving this to somebody and they open the box and they see inside this beautiful movement?
The question is going to be, what have you done?
Yeah. Where's the bad news?
Are you missing a kidney? Because the Paragon happens to be one of those watches. Now, we showed a watch that has a skeletonized dial. But this really takes that even a step further by going to the outer chapter ring. As they come in even closer, that you'll notice that the outer chapter ring has also had everything removed. So the layers of the first layer of the dial all the way through the movement, and you're able to see that beautiful decoration. I mean, the coin edge on the bezel, all of this machining around the crown.
Look at the blue ionic hands.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Meant to mimic blue furnace bluing. And then notice on that continuous sweep hand, that little crescent moon on the edge. We've seen that on high-end watches.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's a nice detail through there. And look at the back where you're actually being able to see into the beating heart of the watch. And look at all that decoration.
Done by hand, which is incredible to me. I mean, I can't draw a straight line. So it's amazing to me that people are artists and this is their artwork.
Well, the cabinetiers who have done that have not only created something beautiful, but keeping the balance within the rotor by removing all that extra stuff, creating something on the inside that keeps time so accurately. I mean, here this is running at somewhere between 3 and 6 kilohertz and is keeping track of time within 10 to 15 seconds per day. And look at that. You can see into the beating heart, into the escapement, all the gears. You're going to have as much joy just being fascinated by your watch as you are by telling time and knowing that you have an incredible timepiece. I'll put it on real quick because we've only got moments left. Now, this is a 45 millimeter case. You have Sapphitech crystal, both front and back, protecting the beautiful skeletonized dial and movement.
I like that they left that chapter ring, though, in the dial with the Roman numeral hour markers and even the dashes for the minute scale so you can still accurately tell time.
Wasn't that just clever? Because it would have been
Yeah,
easy to
because for
forget
me,
about
I'd be
that.
screwed. I'd be like, I don't know, it's after 10.
And I know, like, the hand is past that one gear. It is the problem with some skeletonized movements is that they make it difficult because they've just left nothing but little squiggly lines and gears. This has left enough in the chapter rings that you can tell the time. $149, unbelievably, for a $765 watch. $152 once you get to midnight on Sunday, but right now $149.99, only $30 gets it home. That's your first of 5 stress-free interest repayments. We pay for shipping. We are going to guarantee the price. And not only does it look good, but we also, do we have another color variation on this?
I think we're going to have another color variation tomorrow on the show, but we're going to go to another automatic.
Yes.
This time still skeletonized, but they've actually skeletonized just the center portion of the dial. It's an entirely different look. They both have that classic vintage look, but this one feels a little bit more 21st century because they use Arabic numerals this time. The dial work is a little bit different, and the movement is different because now you've got a multi-function calendar.
This, to me, looks more elegant. The other is a piece of art, but as far as a timepiece, there is something three-dimensional, because I guess your eye doesn't pass all the way through unless you hold it in just the right light, that you really see the depth in this. And this is one I compared to very lightly to the Parallel that has that gorgeous skeleton.
Yeah, very lightly when you flashed your iPhone.
Well, I did. That wasn't mine, that was yours, and you know it. I couldn't help it. It really, I mean, you notice that watch so impressed me, I took a picture of it.
It's true, it does.
I think people sometimes think that we're a little jaded and that we're not impressed with the watches. But when we see something we like, we're often, while the other's talking, texting somebody going, oh my gosh,
yeah, it's true.
You gotta look at this watch.
I already sent a photo of the Roadster out.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And notice this beautiful back of the watch, how it has been decorated. Of course, you're getting a lot of information here, too. You have 30 meters of water resistance, 316L stainless steel, exactly what you'd want, Sapphitech crystal. And look inside of that gorgeous movement. Folks, don't let it get away from you. I don't even know. Do I have time for me to show it?
Sure.
No. We'll just do a quick wristy so you can see.
44 millimeter. Want to see it on the wrist. I love black and rose. My
It's
favorite
gorgeous.
color combo.
$149.99. Only $30 gets it home. We think it's a stunning timepiece. In fact, we'll guarantee you won't find it for less. You can't find it for less because we're the only ones selling it right now. It's a world debut. And you're going to be the best-looking kid on the block with this watch.
287-741. You are certainly the best-looking guy.
Oh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap it and say goodbye. We're going to do a very quick recap and show you the best-selling items from the show. Now, tomorrow, Wiley and I have a brand new lineup. Niso Barocas will join us live on set for the beginning of the show, just like he did today. He's going to bring out another watch that we did not even debut yet on the show. Remember, that's one he said was a special edition.
Oh, my goodness, when you see it.
You have to tune in tomorrow to see it, but we will have him back out here again. All right, let's recap. Let's see what the best-selling watch of the show was so far.
You know?
No, I have no idea.
We don't know.
Ah.
Oh, good
this
choice.
One came out of nowhere. This upstaged your Pegasus.
Thanks for pointing that out, Megan. And
you don't have the #1 seller anymore. 287-711, a brand new watch from Lucien Piccard, the Navona chronograph. This chronograph movement inside is the first time our company has ever used this Citizen Miyota quartz chronograph movement before, so it's really cool. Here, a 44 millimeter case with beautiful rose tone, a true multi-piece, multi-level dial there. Croco embossed genuine leather strap. You get a 5-year warranty. Be one of the first people in the world to own this brand new Lucien Piccard collection. And we will have other color variations tomorrow. But for now, the best-selling item for just $20 down is item number 287-711.
that's gorgeous. I'm glad people picked that up. And look, this is making the list right there, the Lucien Piccard Sultan. This great skeletonized dial is a classic timepiece, perfect for the office, going out to dinner, those special occasions, or if you just want an elegant everyday watch. You don't have to invest $500, $600, $700. For under $150, you can wear this one every day with confidence. With a Sapphitech crystal both front and back, you know it's going to look great for years to come. Only $30 gets it home, $149 altogether, and it is one of the steals of the show. 287-741, Lucien Piccard Sultan.
Coming up, one of those great Swiss Legend bundles. Not only do you get the Swiss-made Abyssos in the STP-1-11 automatic movement, but because of the price drop here, you're actually getting the 52 millimeter automatic Neptune, that is a Swiss-made automatic movement inside, for free. $300 for 2 Swiss-made automatic movements. Even better is the price with the stress-free payments. $2 a day, and you own 2 watches with a total value of over $2,000. 287-014. Both of them have 5-year warranties on the movements. Both of them have 10-year warranties on the Sapphotec crystals. The Neptune is 100 meters of water resistance. The Abyssos is 1,000.
And there are other color variations of that, so consult the website if that's not the right combination. I bet we have it. And here's one of Megan's favorite brands. Our secret soldier over here loves Ben & Sons, and this 45 millimeter case looks great. It wears a little larger just because the lugs at the end kind of give it an exaggerated feel, but it's not, and it's incredibly comfortable on the wrist. And for under $100, you're getting a lot of style. Now, there's other variations of this watch as well that you have to see. 287664. Like, take a look at this.
We didn't even air this one yet.
And do you like this one?
This is for tomorrow. 287662.
And this one's only $94.99.
Nice, especially if you use the stress-free payments. It's huge savings.
$19.
5-year warranty too on that VD53 movement. 287662. Looks like you guys are loving the vintage pilot style watches. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was awkward. It's cold in here, so I'm just sitting on my hands. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show, learned a little something. We'll see you tomorrow, same time.
Bye-bye.